live from the wish fulfilled. I choose my state. I speak only what I desire to live. I imagine, and it is so. I declare, and it becomes. I walk in victory. I surrender to love. I trust the unfolding. I release the past. I forgive everything. I embrace the now. I breathe and allow. I accept all of me. I rest in what is. I remember who I am. I never left the garden. I am what I choose to embody. I was never broken. I am the dream fulfilled. I'm the healed and the healer. I am the spark of creation. I am not the story. I am the author. I am the name unspoken. I am the voice before the voice. I am the image and likeness of God. I am truth, remembering itself. I am not separate. I am one with all things. I am the breath and the fire. I am the return. I am enough. I am held. I am whole. I am safe. I am powerful. I am free. I am light. I am love. I am the operant power. I am the word made flesh. I am awake now. I am whole. I am. I am. I am. I am. I am God. I am love. I am light. I am safe. I am joy. I am peace. I am whole. I am one. I am the dream. I am that I breath. I am that I am. I am. I am. I woke to the scent of Earl Grey tea. Her voice in the kitchen humming softly. She turned and smiled like the day we first met. No more waiting for us, no regrets. The mirror holds a younger man's eyes. Clear blood, clean heart, no compromise. They said it once, the tumor is gone, but I knew it long before the dawn. I knew this day, I held it close like sacred flame. I saw the crowd, I heard my name, long before the banners came. Her hand is warm, and their voice is kind. They bow and say, your story's mine. I'm not surprised it came this way. I lived it once, I knew this day. The screen goes dark, the silence hums, and then applause like rising drums. To chase she scars I as light. They thank me for their sleepless nights. One girl walks up, her eyes still red. She grips my arm and bows her head. I lost my father, she quietly said. But your film's hero brought him back instead. I knew this day, the hugs, the grace, the quiet sway, their arms around me, not just praise, but love for truths I helped convey. They didn't know my soul was scarred, even as they healed each damaged part. I'm not surprised it came this way. I lived it once, I knew this day. She finds me after barefoot and bright, pulls me close in the lobby light. You made it, she says, and so did I whisper back, we never died. I knew this day, the taste of peace, the end of strain. My body whole, my spirit sane, my purpose finally unchained. I bow again, not from fear, but for the love that brought me here. I'm not surprised it is this way. I lived it first. I knew
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, good night, good ladies and gentlemen. Goodness gracious. It's game one. Game one. Astros on the road for this 3-game series with the Blue Jays. Those dirty bluebirds. Got more dirty birds. The dirty mutant Blue Jays. I love the thumbnail that I made. I wrote a paragraph, I kid you not, I wrote a paragraph to describe that image. Sometimes I have to remake the image several times because it doesn't make exactly what I'm trying to envision. But the idea just came to my mind of a post-apocalyptic Toronto with some kind of huge mutant, dirty-looking Blue Jay with an Astros sci-fi astronaut lying on the ground trying to aim at this bird with a laser gun. It came out really good. I like it. It looks so ridiculous. But anyway, the Astros haven't played many games against the Blue Jays this year, only 3, but we've got the series so far. We swept the Blue Jays in Houston. We're up 3-0 in the series, and there are only 3 more games to go. We win 1, and we'll be up on them. So, as far as that is concerned, we only need to win 1 game of the 3. But we have bigger fish to fry, to be honest, in the division. So we really need to win all of these games if possible. The good news is, for those of you who do not know, the Blue Jays are under 500 recently. They've not been playing very well. And on top of that, one of their key players, Beau Bichette, is not in the game today. They just announced today that he would not be in. Joe Espada is talking right now about this game. He says, positions like this and games like this is what you get up in the morning looking forward to. You want to be in a spot like this. Now, I agree with him that you want to be playing in September going towards the playoffs, but I disagree with him that you want to be a spot where you only have 2 games. That's ridiculous. I can't believe he just said that. They were asking him about, going out to play the Blue Jays up just 2 games over the Mariners and just a few games over the Rangers. And he said, well, you want to be in this spot. No, you don't. No, you don't. Nobody except you, Joe, wants to be in this spot. I mean, do any of you in the live chat, whenever you're playing in September trying to get to the playoffs, do you want to be just 2 games over a division rival and like 3.5 games over your other division rival? Is that really the spot? Is that really the spot you want to be in? Or do you want to be like 15 games up? I'm sorry, but I want to be 15 games up for a couple of reasons. One is, that's a nice cushion. Number 2 is, if you're 15 games up, it means you're destroying people. You're destroying other teams, not just in your division, but just all across the MLB. And I would much rather be in a position like that. If I had to choose, you've worked hard. You've built a really nice lead. It's impossible for you to lose your number 1 spot. You've clinched the division. You've clinched a playoff spot. I would much rather be in that spot. So I don't know what in the world. I know Joe Espada is trying to be positive with what he's saying, but he's not really thinking when he says stuff like that. He's just talking. He's just talking. I don't like it when a coach just talks. Say something that makes sense. Gregory says Paredes would have had 30 home runs if not hurt. It's very possible, but I think probably 70% of his home runs would have been in Dyking Park. Michael's right. We can't fool around anymore. Only 18 games left. We've got to get 13 of those. Yeah, there's a lot of heavy thunderstorms outside. I'm just letting you all know right now. I've got some heavy thunderstorms. And let me take a look. Maybe I can show you what's going on here so you're aware. This is... Okay, there I am right in the middle of the screen. That little dot right there in the middle of the screen, that's me. That's where I'm at. Now, I'm under thunderstorm warning, so I'm going to pull up the radar just so you see. Okay? You see that? You see how lightning and thunder? I'm moving from the yellow area into the red area. So you've got the light green, dark green, yellow, and, or you could say orange and dark orange, like reddish. And I'm moving from the orangey, light orange to the dark orange area right there. Zoom in a little bit. Yeah, you see that? Now, if we move it forward, let's take a look at what it's supposed to look like. Right now, it's 8 o'clock a.m. That's 8:30. It's passing over. 9 o'clock, passing over. 9:30, passing over. It's not supposed to start getting a little clearer until 9:30, about an hour and a half from now. So, if for some reason I have any issues with my... This is right now. This is right now. If I start having any issues with my Starlink connection, I might have to use my backup phone connection. But the backup phone connection, it should be okay. But if the thunderstorms and rain are just too heavy, then my phone would be probably a better performer. Just letting you know, if for some reason the connection goes out for a moment, or it seems to be some issues in the live stream, then you'll know why. It's because of the crazy rain outside. It really came up, and it is really loud. The thunder is really loud. Lightning and thunder. Gregory says, Bluebird out there taking a crap. I won't tell anybody else or anyone else. Yeah. Yeah, Michael, you're in agreement with me on that. Yeah, I think we're on the same page. Being in the race is a good thing, but we should have a bigger lead. I mean, if you were to choose, I mean, the way he expressed it too just doesn't make any sense to me. He says, this is where you want to be. No, it's not. It's not where you want to be. Nobody wakes up in the morning saying, I want to be 2 games ahead of my, and 3.5 games ahead of my division rivals, and trying to limp to the playoffs, and having batting problems, and trying to figure out why I can't hit the ball consistently, why my team can't hit the ball consistently. Look at this. Okay, so this is where we're at right here. 2 games ahead of the Mariners, 3.5 ahead of the Rangers. Is that where you want to be? It's not where I want to be. Nobody wakes up in the morning wanting to be right there. Now, there might be some teams that would gladly trade with us, and there definitely are. I can understand that. Some team that's, 4th place, 3rd place, maybe last place, and says, heck, 2 games up in my division, I'd definitely like to be there. But if you were to say, this is where we want to be, no, 15 games up, I think, is where I want to be right now in September. That's where I want to be. Oh my gosh, Gregory, I remember going to the flea markets a long time ago. Sometimes even when we would visit my uncle in Houston many years later. I'm sorry, but Springer's haircut just looks... I don't want to use the word stupid, but it looks ridiculous. I hope he doesn't take his hat off, but I kind of want to see. Man, my house is shaking from the thunder right now. I don't know if you guys can hear it. But yeah, Gregory, my uncle lives in Baytown. I've got some cousins there, and whenever we would visit, sometimes we would go to the flea markets. Actually, I remember going there and picking up a lot of Houston Oilers stuff one time. I got like a license plate, a Houston Oiler license plate. I got Houston Oiler tumblers, Houston Oiler mugs and cups. I got all sorts of Houston Oiler stuff. Those were the days, man. My room was decked out in Houston Oiler stuff. I've never done that for any other team. Now, I did have Akeem Olajuwon posters and a couple of Michael Jordan posters. Never was able to get any Houston Astro team posters while I was in Louisiana. But it wasn't difficult to get NBA stars, you know. It was easy to get Olajuwon posters because he was one of the best players in the league. Let's take a look at the Astros lineup right quick. Should have the first pitch coming up in a few minutes. Jeremy Pena is in the game, leading it off for the Astros at shortstop. Alvarez, for some reason, is batting second again in the DH spot today. I'm sorry, that's just a failure. In my opinion, that's a failure. Well, we can get him more at bats, but we almost never score runs in the first inning. Wouldn't it be nice to give a couple of guys an opportunity to get on base before Alvarez comes up? Wouldn't that be better? But whatever. Batting third is Carlos Correa at third base. Altuve is at second today, batting cleanup. That's interesting. Jesus Sanchez is batting fifth in right field. Christian Walker batting sixth at first base. Batting seventh is Jake Myers in center field. We've got him between Walker and Diaz. Diaz batting eighth. He's catching today. And Mauricio Dubon batting ninth. It's fine putting Diaz all the way down at eighth. It's fine by me. I'm glad to see Myers splitting up Walker and Diaz. That's nice. So right now, before Diaz, we have Myers, and after we have Dubon and Pena. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. If Walker stops the rally or fails in a rally, then Myers is coming up next to try to save it. If Diaz fails, Dubon has a better chance of saving it than some. But shortly after that, we go back to the top of the batting order with Pena. So the batting order is okay today. I don't really care too much anymore about the batting order. The only thing I look for in the batting order is where is Alvarez batting, and are Walker and Diaz split. Those are the only two things I really care about. Otherwise, what I care about is, has there been any systemic change in the way the Astros prepare for the game? The batting practice and the discipline that they need to fix, have they been working on it outside the game? That's what I want to know. Hey, Steel Viper, good to see you. Thank you so much. You must have been working your butt off today to be exhausted. Maybe grab yourself something to eat and drink. Relax a little bit, get comfortable. If you need to take a rest or go to sleep, I understand, but thank you so much for being here anyway. What kind of a question is that, Gregory? What Astros player would you want to have a bromance with? A bromance? If I could pick one of these guys to be best friends with, I think it'd have to be Altuve. I mean, Altuve is my hero. I've got his jersey on right now. It's not literally his. That would be amazing. But yeah, I've got my Altuve jersey on. Pena is at the plate. First pitch is hit hard to left field. Way out to the wall. And he dives and it's off the wall. That's going to be a double for Pena. Pena comes just shy of getting a home run on the very first pitch. Man, Pena. It would have been nice if he'd gotten a home run. He's only got 15 this year. Can you believe that? I would not have guessed that for Pena this year. I would have guessed twice that amount. Of course, I guess that, you know, he was definitely out for the injury for a while. But overall, he should still have more than that. Jordan is at the plate. That's outside. Hey, Blue Devil. How's it going? Yeah, if you want to drop in some updates about that game, we'd like to hear how it's going. Next pitch to Alvarez. Outside. 2 pitches out of the zone so far. Hey, Casey. Good to see you. Yes, it is nice to see Myers back for sure. Here's the pitch. Nope, he steps off the mound instead. Yeah, it would be nice if we could see some Jedi mind tricks from Walker. The Lion, that's hilarious about Altuve. That's a nice knuckle curve right in there for strike 1. 2 balls and 1 strike to Alvarez. The Lion says, I'm hoping Altuve falls in love with batting cleanup. Wouldn't it be nice if suddenly he just started clicking? Batted like 600 for the rest of the season. That's a ground ball to second base. Jordan grounds out, but Pena goes over to third, so not a lobster. He moved the runner over. Alvarez does something a little productive, putting Pena on third. We only have 1 out. And that brings up South Korea. Yeah, we definitely need a jump start. Here's the pitch. That's a strike, low and outside. That was a good pitch. Thanks a lot, Blue Devil. I usually don't track it too closely just when I think about it. So, I mean, that's the thing though. Usually a lot of people in the chat will list scores, and that's fine by me. I appreciate the help. Thank you. 93 up and in, swing and a miss, strike 2, 0-2 to Correa. Ohio gozaimasu, Glenn. Lots of thunderstorms here today. Heavy rain, thunder, lightning, all of it. I'm getting all of it right now. How are things there? Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Correa. Another knuckle curve, but that one is below the zone. 2-1. Jordan thinking about that last at bat. He's still got the bat in his hands and he's waving it around. How does it feel to be DH? Got nothing else to do. Just stand around and hold the bat. Here's the pitch to Correa. Whoa, way up and in. 2-2. Shane Bieber on the mound. Shane Justin Bieber. 4.08 ERA. Here comes the pitch. Whoa, went too far inside. Nice. Full count. Well, you're right. You're right, Glenn. It will test the drainage, but actually the drainage has already been tested thoroughly. I've had some thunderstorms here and there over the past couple of weeks. That's hit hard to center field. It might be gone. It is. It's gone right over the center field fence. South Korea, baby. South Korea goes north and invades Toronto. How about that? 2-0 Astros. The long ball to center field comes from Correa, not from Alvarez. How about that? South Korea, baby. So the Flash gets on base with a double off the wall, and Correa goes yard straight to center field. Altuve's at the plate, takes the first pitch high and outside for ball one. Here comes the pitch. Low and outside. So high and outside, low and outside, 2-0. Boys came to play today. Sure looks like an Altuve, looking like young Altuve. He's got the nice, cleanly shaved face. He just stands there and takes the third pitch. 3 balls and no strikes. Altuve wasn't ready for that pitch. He thought it was too fast, so he just took it. That's hit hard to left field, all the way out to the wall. Oh, it's going to be shy at the warning track. On the 3-0 pitch, Altuve got a curve right down the middle, and he launched it all the way out. There's the home run by Correa, 86-mile-per-hour slider. Right across the thighs. Altuve hits it almost out. 3 straight long balls. Well, if you subtract Jordan's swing, but I'm talking about the balls in the air. The last 3 fly balls have been long. Sanchez at the plate, and that's a 1-1 pitch. Still Viper, thank you so much for that awesome super chat. 93 inside, he fouls it off. 1-2 to Sanchez. That's a 2-run super chat right there. 2 home run super chat. Sanchez swings and misses. Ball in the dirt. Strikes out. That's going to be it. But not before Pena gets a double and Correa puts one over the center field fence. Nice start to get a couple of big runs in the first inning. How about that? 2 hits, 2 runs, and the Astros are up by the same amount. Blue Devil, you don't have to let us know about the hits or the on base or anything like that. If there's a score change, you can let us know, but there's no reason to let us know about guys on base and hits and stuff like that. That's too detailed. I appreciate the effort though. Casey's right, no more lobsters. Bring the lobsters home and cook them. Cook those suckers. Robert says, nice to be with y'all once again. Let's feast on some fried Toronto birds. Cook them up. Cook up that illegal meal. Pretty sure you get in a lot of trouble for that. Killing and eating Blue Jays. I already hit the like, so I hope y'all have done so. Thank you, Robert. I will take that opportunity as a reminder to let you all know to click the thumbs up button below the video if you have not done so already. It really helps out the channel. Got 82 watching right now and only 25 likes. Should have more than 60 right now. Up and in, 89 miles an hour. Luis Garcia is on the mound for the Astros today. George Springer starting it off for the Blue Jays. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Nice pitch at the top of the zone, but called a ball. 2-0. George Springer seems to have gotten a bad haircut at the barber. From what I can see, it looks pretty ridiculous. Here is the 2-0 pitch. That's in there and grounded down the third baseline, foul. We can't see it with the helmet on. Hopefully, I'm kind of scared to see it, but hopefully he takes his helmet off so we can see what his hair looks like. Whenever he's wearing his regular hat, you can see the back of his hair only. That's right in there on the curve, but fouled off down the third base line again. 2-2 is the count. Two balls and two strikes. Here's the toss from Garcia. That's hit high into left field. Should be easily playable. Dubon is under it and grabs it for out number 1. I don't know who Fitzy is, Blue Devil, but since this is an Astros channel, definitely don't need more than scores for other teams. Don't want to fill up the chat with such detail, but I appreciate it, like I said. Here's the toss. Inside, ball 1. Nathan Lukes. Is at the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. Small lefty. That's a strike. 81 mile per hour cutter right in there. 1-1. I'm happy with a no-hitter from any Astros pitcher, Gregory, but it would give me a lot of hope to see Garcia get one right. That's high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Robsky, they didn't cancel his pre-pitch routine. It's just about the time, the pitch clock. He doesn't have time to do it. Look at that. What a great play. A line drive off of Garcia. It ricochets off of Garcia's glove and goes up in the air. Pena runs over and slides to grab it. That's pretty crazy. Take a look at this. 102.2. Two down. Tip drill is what they said. Vlad Guerrero Jr. at the plate. Swing and a miss on that first pitch. A nice cutter on the outside edge. Strike 1. Yeah, Philip, I think so too. I've liked Garcia for a while. But the pre-pitch routine that Robsky's talking about was the rock the baby. He doesn't have time to do that. The pitch clock eliminates his ability to do that, so he had to modify his pitching routine. Sarcastic, when you say you love George, my first thought is Costanza, George Costanza. Thinking about Jason Alexander. This is hit out into center field. Myers is underneath it and puts it away. 3 up and 3 down. No problem for Garcia. So Bieber starts off getting hit hard off of everybody except for Jordan, ironically. And Garcia gets 3 easy outs. We are done with the first inning. The Astros 2 hits, 2 runs. Double by Pena, homer by Correa. A blast to center field. No hits, no runs for the Blue Jays. It's oddly bright outside for there to be thunderstorms. Must be mixed clouds in the sky. Maybe that's why I haven't had a problem yet with my connection. It's not completely covering the sky. I want to take another look at the radar, see what it looks like around here. As you can see right now, there, take a look at that. I'm the dot right in the middle there. So I'm surrounded basically by lightning and thunder. And by the way, the purple area is pretty bad. But I think that's already passed. I think it typically moves west to east or northwest to southeast. It's always moving east here. That's the way the weather patterns work. But in a few minutes, it'll be 8:30. Yeah, it looks like it's lightening up already. So they had a ton of lightning, all that lightning and thunderstorms, and then yeah, I'm not hearing much thunder right now, so that's probably why this radar shows this. 9 o'clock, it'll be lighter. 9:30, even lighter. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Now will be Christian Walker at the plate. Takes the first pitch inside for ball 1. Here comes the toss. That's a nice pitch right in there. I don't know why you didn't swing at that. 85-mile-per-hour slider right in the middle of the zone. 1-1. Yeah, I'd agree with you, Gregory. That's hit out to right field. Shortstop and right fielder is over, and the right fielder takes it. Walker flies out. Out number 1. He will go sit back down. He will walk her back to the dugout. Jake Myers comes to the plate. Here's the toss. And first pitch is in there for strike 1. Here's the toss. Low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the toss. Myers hits that one pretty hard to right field, but it's going to be a little too high. It would have been nice if he straightened that out a little bit more, but Myers is going to jog back to the dugout. 2 up and 2 down. Much better inning for Bieber so far. Yonder Diaz comes to the plate. If Jordan's performance today in the first inning is any indicator of what should happen right here, that means Diaz should have a big hit. Just my guess. First pitch from Bieber is on the way. Low and outside in the dirt. Diaz didn't swing at it. Can't believe it. 1 ball, no strikes. Yeah, I've been getting the sporadic thunderstorms. This is hit out into left field, and that's going to be down. Nice. I guess I was right. Hard line drive to left center. Diaz is on with a single. Mauricio Dubon comes to the plate. Doobie-doobie-doo. 2 outs and a base runner. Opportunity for Dubon to create a lobster for the Astros. Prodigy, you're right. I want to see some good Christian Walker today, too. I want to see good everybody, but I definitely want to see Walker. If Walker just flies out every time, I'd rather see that than him striking out. At least that's an improvement. Glenn says, put in an order for fine weather for my visit. Also, it will be unseasonably warmer than usual. Are you talking about here? I don't think so. This is hit high in the air. By the time you get here, the weather is going to be perfect. I I definitely don't want warmer than usual. Actually, if the weather is the way it's supposed to be, if it's usual weather for the time you arrive, Glenn, in Japan, it will be perfect. Perfect weather. Here comes the toss. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Doobie. You're talking about the perfect time of the year, man. You're talking about fall. Why would you want to? Why would you want it to be warmer than usual in fall? It's perfect weather. Get out of here with that. In the dirt, 2-2 to Doobie. Diaz on first base with 2 outs. 3 hits for the Astros, 2 runs. Here in the top of the second, Mauricio Dubon is at the plate with a 2-2 count. Big Money Myers. Yankees up off a Judge homer. Here's the pitch. He grounds this one to third. Should be a pretty easy play. Man, what a gun he's got. He fires it over to first for out number 3. And that's going to be it for the Astros in the top of the second. We get 1 hit, 1 lobster. Astros now have a couple of lobsters, but it doesn't matter because they brought home half of all the lobsters. Can you imagine if the Astros brought home half of every single base runner? How awesome would that be? But right now, the Blue Jays don't even have any base runners. They haven't had any. So they haven't even caught any lobsters. So they didn't even have a chance to bring any lobsters home. Got to catch them first. A 3 home run game for Correa, Phillip? I like the sound of that. And how about this? 3 home runs, always with somebody on base. At least 1 guy on base each time. How awesome would that be? Nice achievement for Judge. The only home run achievement that I care about right now is the Altuve playoff home run achievement. That's what I want to see. Philip says 40 in the morning, 75 in the afternoon. The thunder has completely stopped right now. It just suddenly stopped, so it is moving fast. The weather is moving fast from west to east across Japan. But yeah, the sporadic thunderstorms have been a regularly occurring thing recently. Sunny and beautiful blue skies with just a few clouds, and then suddenly you hear thunder and the thunderstorms roll in and heavy rain out of nowhere, and then it's gone like 30 minutes later. It's pretty crazy. Dalton Varsho is at the plate with a 1-0 count from Garcia. Here comes the next toss. Today's live play-by-play is brought to you by Steel Viper with the $10 super chat. I don't yet have a sponsor. Here's a pitch. A little inside. That was close. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here comes the 2-1. A little too far. What? Wow. That was inside again, but he called that one a strike. Look at this. Oh, I wasn't looking at it. I was looking off screen. It is called a strike when you swing and miss it, right? All I saw was where the pitch wound up. I was looking off screen. Hey, look at that. Fouled off behind a plate. Diaz scrambles back there like a crab and grabs it for out number one. Varsho fouls out behind the plate. Alejandro Kirk comes to the plate. Hey, Gregory with the $2 super chat. Thank you, sir. Today's sponsors, Steel Viper and Gregory Martinez. Here's a pitch, low and outside on the cutter. I would like to see Altuve homer in every single postseason game. That would be freaking awesome. He only needs a few more to get to that record. It's very important for him to get to that record. 90 on the inside. Swing and a miss. Kirk went after that fastball, and it made him go down to his knee and beg for mercy. Please, please, Garcia. Have mercy. 1 out, 1 ball, 1 strike here in the bottom of the second. Here comes the next pitch from Garcia. That one was way outside. Prodigy says the Astros would lead the league in runs scored, and run differential would be positive, and they would lead the league in that too. You know, if they just cut their lobsters down by 25%, they'd be killing it. The amount of left on base that each player contributes in the games, if they were to just cut that down by 25% only, just 25%, the Astros would be killing it. Here's the pitch. 90 in the bottom of the zone, 3-2. Kirk tried to head towards first base, but that was a strike, my friend. That was clearly a strike. 90 miles an hour. They said right down Main Street. That's right. Here comes the 3-2. Swing and a miss. Nice. How about that? They say that Kirk is the 5th hardest guy to strike out in baseball. Garcia got a couple of swings and misses from him. Look at that. Wow. Went down to his knee again. He went down to his knee and asked for forgiveness. Garcia's too much. 2 away. Addison Barger. Barger. My bad. They're going to say that's a hit by pitch. Thought it was a ball down and in. But they say it got him. Okay. Barger is on first base with a hit by pitch. Huh? No challenge, but you can't see it from the replay. Whatever. Ernie Clement is at the plate. Clement. He goes after that first pitch, and it's fouled off high and out of play into the crowd. Strike 1. Hey, Shake, good to see you. Let's go Stros indeed. Philip's starting canning this weekend. Homemade salsa. Oh, man. Is it chunky? I like the chunky style homemade salsa. It's good stuff right there. First pitch is, or I'm sorry, second pitch. He holds up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Prodigy wants to know, how far are you away from the impact of typhoons or tsunamis? Those don't affect me, Prodigy. I mean, where I'm at is a really good location. The typhoons would affect me more. That's up and in for ball 2. 2-1 to Clement. Runner on first base, 2 outs. My elevation is too high. In feet, I'm around 1,800 feet above sea level. Hardly an issue. Something going on with Garcia. Garcia is immediately going to come out of the game. Oh my gosh, this is a bad sign. Garcia was looking good, and then suddenly they all just go out to meet on the mound, and as soon as a spotter gets out there, he immediately gives him the ball and walks off the field. I mean, there wasn't even a discussion. It was just, here's the ball, and he walked off the field. That is not a good sign. Garcia was doing really well. So they're going to have some time to figure out who they want to grab to replace Garcia. That's terrible. But yeah, Prodigy, what I was saying is that obviously the tsunamis are not an issue, but typhoons can bring some strong winds where I'm at. But I have a mountain right behind my house, and I'm kind of, I wouldn't say that I'm in a valley, but because of my distance from, I'm kind of in the middle. If you look at the map, you can see that I'm kind of in the south. I'm far from the sea. Plus, there's another big island. Actually, I think I can show it to you. I can show you the map. You can see what I'm talking about. Just because of my location. So right here is Hiroshima City, right? Right here in the middle where that little red spot is right now. So you can see that I'm kind of like right in that area. Right up there where that dot is. So to the northwest, you're not going to get any typhoons from that direction. And the typhoons come in from this direction, but when they come in from this direction, they have to go through all this land and these mountains, all of this to get to where I'm at. So even if it does come through right through here, it's going to be incredibly weak, and the wind won't be very strong. The most that I would get from this is just a lot of rain. That's the main thing. So as far as like the strong winds, it doesn't really affect me here, thankfully. It's a good location. It's a really good location. Also for earthquakes, it's a good location. One of the lowest earthquake areas in all of Japan. There was a rare earthquake that happened a couple of months ago that was just a few miles from me, but the effect on me and my house here was negligible because, like I said, where I'm at, there's a small mountain. Actually, the earthquake was over here in this place called Serra Town, and where I'm at is somewhere kind of in this area, right about here. And because of the mountain where it's located, I get a little protection from all of that. So I get protection from the typhoons. I've got a ton of protection from tsunamis, and I get some protection from earthquakes too. It's a nice location. I just in this area, the main thing you have to worry about is landslides and flooding, but I've got that taken care of, I think. Jordan, thank you so much. I just saw that super chat. I appreciate that very, very much, sir. Thank you so much. We've got another sponsor of today's another sponsor of today's live Astros play-by-play. AJ Bluebaugh is going to be on the mound for the Astros. I believe that he was actually supposed to start the next game. Is that what they said? That's what it sounded like. Let me take a look. Let's take a look at this. We pull up the Astros schedule here. No. Okay. I don't know what they were talking about there. Alexander is slated to start tomorrow, so I'm not sure exactly what they were meaning. Man, I really wish I could get some coffee. I forgot to get more water. Yeah, Glenn, I hear you. October's always nice. November will be getting a bit cool for my sun-drenched old bones. Really? I love it. Put on more clothes, man. See, you know, Glenn, you say that, but I'm always telling you to put on a freaking jacket. Last time you were here, I was like, why don't you wear a jacket? I have an extra jacket. Here, wear this jacket. Take this jacket. You never did. But you say you can't take the cold, so wakarimasen. I really have no idea. Jordan, though, his message says, be blessed, my brother. Appreciate your love of the game. Thank you. I definitely love baseball. I mean, I much prefer to play baseball than to watch it. But I do like to watch the Astros. I wonder how much my love for watching the Astros will fade once Altuve retires. You never know. If somebody steps up and takes the mantle and becomes a really wonderful player and a wonderful person for the Astros organization, it will be much easier for me to keep caring as much for the games. But I will be sad, possibly depressed, whenever Altuve leaves the game. I don't want to think about it. Hopefully no cross-ups tonight. That's right, Philip. Hey, Patrick, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, but J. Paul, it's crazy. It's like we can't have anything good. We can't have nice things. We can't have pitchers. Pitchers? Nope. Take that away. Can't have that. Shake, my guess is that he's injured because he just suddenly stopped and motioned for the trainers, and they came out, and as soon as they got to the mound, he just handed them the ball and walked straight out of the game, through the dugout and into the locker room. So that's absolutely not a good sign. So I'm guessing that yes. You know, it's one thing when you say I've got a little bit of elbow soreness or shoulder irritation, but when you are right in the middle of the second inning and then you immediately wave the coaches out and hand them the ball and walk straight off the field and out of the dugout into the locker room, you know that there's a problem. Fox at bat, you're very positive. Blue Ball still working it out. He needs a really long time. If you guys are wondering why is it taking him so long to warm up, because this is a pitching replacement early in the game. He's supposed to be, he's replacing a starting pitcher early in the game, so he's allowed to have a complete, on an injury like this, he's allowed to have a complete, long warm-up regimen. So it's fair, right? Blue Ball's got the most awesome number. Isn't it funny? AJ Blue Ball, number 69. No comment. I'm not saying anything else. I don't know, shoot. Free agents? It's a good question. I'm hoping for good news, Abel. Me too. He just got back. I hope he didn't aggravate anything. Yeah, I hope he didn't aggravate anything either. Yeah, Prodigy, you know, France, it might be a lot more likely now if Garcia is going to be out. Might be inevitable that France comes back. As long as they can work with him. I liked France. I do know that he has more adjustments to make. He's got some more improvements to make. But I think he's got potential. Yeah, me too, Michael. I mean, I will always be a fan. I wasn't saying that I would stop being a fan. I'm just saying that my passion for it is going to take, it's definitely going to take a big hit whenever Altuve retires. That's a fact. Can you imagine, like, I mean, I know Jordan is awesome, but who would be the new face of the Astros? Is there any guy that can be that guy? Here's a 3-1 pitch to Clement. This is hit high in the air on the right side. Walker's underneath it. Does he have room? No, he doesn't. It's off the back of the dugout. Full count to Clement. Runner on first with 2 outs. Gregory thinks we should have traded France instead of Gusto. That would not have worked. Because number 1, France was injured. Number 2, he's not a starting pitcher. Not really. I mean, he has started, but what I mean is he was not. That's going to be out of play. Count remains 3-2. What I'm saying is that France was injured and very far away from being a rotation starter. So there was no way we could have traded him. And he didn't have the same value as Gusto did. So that was not possible. Here comes the 3-2. Low and outside, and that's going to be a walk. So blue ball walks him, but that's going to be charged to Garcia. You know, it's kind of silly that they have to create a silly name for hot dogs to try to sell them. They said they sold over 30,000 of those hot dogs during the injury timeout. Crazy. Here comes a first pitch to Joey Loperfido. You guys remember this guy? Joey Loperfido, his 31st game this year for the Blue Jays. 1-0. Here comes a pitch from blue ball. Swing and a miss. 94. Right in the top of the zone. 2 runners on right now with 2 outs. Yeah, I do like Garcia. I don't want to see that for anybody, but especially for Garcia. Here's the toss. High and outside. Gregory says or traded Fromber instead. Nah, that it would have been nice to get a haul for Fromber. But there was little chance of them doing that since we had a chance to get into the playoffs. That's hit into center field. The crowd cheers, but it's not deep enough. Myers gets underneath it and puts it away for out number 3. So a walk and a fly ball. They got guys up there, twin guys that look to be 60, 65 years old each in hot dog outfits doing a seesaw on a big hot dog. All right. It looks like they didn't even know how to use it. Phillips eating Arby's tonight. Gregory, we won't keep Fromber. There's no way we'll keep Fromber. But if for some reason we did, I'm sure it would be a mistake. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. There we go. Enjoy the Rangers game. I do not wish the Rangers well, but that's for obvious reasons, right? But I hope you enjoy the game anyway. Manuel says Pena and Hunter are the faces. No, Pena is not. Pena is not the face of the team. Pena's contract is ending soon, and there's no guarantee that he will stick around. So you can't pick Pena just yet. Hunter Brown is a great pitcher, but I wouldn't agree with you that he's the face of the team. Jeremy, what in the world is going on with my connection? Now I hear some thunder outside, and as soon as I hear the thunder, I start to have a connection issue. Fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Pena. Okay, so he becomes a free agent 2029. Here's the toss. 85 mile per hour, low and outside. Swing and a miss. Pena chases it, can't get it. So Pena hits a double off the wall. Yeah, that's not a good look. So we have new Pena, then old Pena. Jordan back at the plate for his opportunity. And he hits it out to left field, and that's going to be down for a hit. How about that? Swings at the first pitch himself. Makes good use of it. Alvarez is on first with 1 out. For Carlos Correa with the 2-run bomb to center field his last at bat. Yeah, little blue ball. Little blue ball. Little blue ball. Here's a pitch. 93 outside. Ball 1 to South Korea. Shrewdly's right. It depends on the price for Fromber, but his worth is going to make him too much for the Astros. I think whatever he's asking for, even if he's willing to negotiate a little bit, it's going to be too much. It's going to be not worth the price. So that's why I say that more than likely, number 1, the Astros will not be keeping Fromber. Number 2, if they did keep Fromber, it would most likely be a mistake for a couple of reasons, but primarily for the payment, the value. This might be a double play, and it is, and that's going to be an ending inning double play. Carlos Correa doesn't give Altuve the opportunity to ground into a double play. He decides to go ahead and do it himself. 4 hits for the Astros in the first 3 innings of the game, 2 runs in the first. Bottom of the 3rd coming up. AJ Blueball is in for apparently an injured Luis Garcia. For those of you who don't know, Garcia was taken out in the middle of the 2nd. Brown is definitely the guy to keep, but we've got Brown under control through 2028. So he won't become a free agent until the 2029 season. So we've got him for 2026, 2027, and 2028. So we've got him locked down for 3 years. But as far as franchise players, a franchise player, this is what you would call the face of the organization. And right now, is Hunter Brown going to be a franchise player? Maybe. Pena, they weren't able to negotiate a new contract with him just yet. Whether or not he becomes a franchise player is up in the air. But I have to say, I don't feel too good about it. But I think I'm kind of on the fence. I'm kind of 50-50 with Pena. I'm not talking about wanting him or not. That's not what I mean. What I mean is I'm 50-50 with my confidence that they'll be able to keep him, because I definitely want to keep him. But with Fromber, I think it's pretty much impossible that they won't be keeping Fromber. Viper says, I never wanted to lose Loperfido. Still remember that amazing catch he had at the wall. Yeah, he had some really great plays out there and outfield. He just wasn't performing at the plate. Andres Jimenez at the plate facing blue ball. That's a nice pitch. 92 on the outside edge for strike one. As soon as I hear any updates about Garcia, I'll let you guys and gals know. I haven't heard anything yet. Here's the next pitch. Right below the zone, fouled just to the side of the first base bag. 0-2. Here's a 0-2. Fouled off. 94 up and out. Here's a pitch. You know, it's interesting, Michael, that's a conservative estimate, because most people are talking about 200 minimal, but he's really hurt. That's only because he's hurt his ability to get 300 million. But 134 million, that would be like scraping the bottom of the barrel. So that's a very conservative number. But even with those conservative numbers, you're right, the Astros will never pay it. Not for Fromber. They don't pay that for most people. This is hit out into center field. Myers is underneath it. He grabs it, no problem. Jimenez goes down with a fly ball. George Springer's due up with one out, nobody on here in the bottom of the third. I love Myers too. You want to have a bromance with Myers, Gregory? Is that who you choose for your bromance? We definitely do need some more runs, Fox at bat. We don't need to stop at 2 in the first. The Rangers beat the Brewers? Are you kidding me? Unbelievable. Here's the pitch. This is grounded to Pena. Pena fires to first, and Springer's put away. Nice, easy, and important out for the Astros. Put away Springer on one pitch with a ground ball. 2 down. Nathan Lukes comes to the plate. Yeah, you're right. That's another good point, Michael. I'm glad you said that. Frankly, he says we already got the best Fromber. Yeah, I think that we got him all the way through his peak, and the decline has started. Here comes the first pitch to Mr. Lukes. That's outside for ball 1. Go Astros indeed. I do want to take a look at some scores. Look at the scoreboard and see what's going on. Here comes a 1-0 pitch. On that outside edge, good toss, 1-1. Pirates and the Orioles, battle of the cattle. Yankees winning 1-0 in the fourth. Here's the pitch. 1-1. Swing and a miss. 96 miles an hour on that fastball. 1-2. You must have been talking about the game yesterday. Look at that. 97 miles an hour, strike 3. Nathan Luke swung at that one, couldn't get a hold of it, and that's a swing and a miss for strike 3. Blue ball with a 97 mile per hour fastball. How about that? Nice. That's it for the first 3 innings. Astros have a no-hitter going on between Garcia and Blue Ball through 3 innings. Top of the fourth coming up with Jose Altuve. That's right, I got my Jose Altuve orange on today. Jesus Sanchez on deck and Christian Walker in the hole. Yeah, today's Rangers game hasn't started yet. I was kind of confused on that comment. Max said that the Rangers beat the Brewers, and I was like, I thought that game hadn't started yet. You must be talking about a game before, because the Rangers and Brewers are about to start right now. So you're talking about yesterday's game. Yeah, 5-0. I'm kind of surprised that they skunked the Brewers. But I have confidence that the Brewers can beat them the next couple of games. Maybe they threw out their best pitcher. Who was pitching in that game, I wonder? Let's see, who was it? Rangers pitcher, Latz. Yeah, he's pretty good. He's not bad. He's got a 2.91 ERA. He pitched 5.2 innings, gave up just 3 hits, no earned runs. He had a good game. Only 1 walk and like 4 strikeouts. He just got a lot of grounders and fly balls, looks like. Altuve goes after the first pitch, bounces it to the shortstop, and he gets thrown out. That's out number 1. Astros continue to be very aggressive swingers. Got many of our batters still going after that first pitch. I haven't seen anything change really with the Astros batting approach. It's not good. I know that we're winning 2-0, but like I said, it's a coin flip. Come on, buddy Sanchez. First pitch is outside for ball 1. 45th pitch of the game coming up for Bieber. Here's the 1-0. Outside again. 2-0. Here's the toss. That's in there. The knuckle curve. 2-1. I wouldn't mind having myself one of those really nice all-beef hot dogs. Swing and a miss below the zone on another knuckle curve, 2-2. I was considering whether or not I should go to Costco today. Pick up some more stuff. Check swing in the dirt. Did he go? They say he did not go, and it's a full count. It would be nice pick up some more eggs. Yeah, he held back. Good call. Full count, nobody on here in the top of the 4th. 1 out. Here's a pitch. Swing and a miss. Gets him on the slider. You know what's very interesting is how the live chat that I have up on my screen and the live chat on my software are actually behind each other. One's behind the other, rather. 93 up and in. Christian Walker at the plate. Yeah, Altuve has been looking pretty bad, shrewdly. You're right. Here comes a pitch. That's hit up the middle, and it's going to be down. Nice line drive hit for Christian Walker. He'll be on base with a single. We got another 2-out base runner. You know, Lance McCullers, Gregor, you mentioned the no-hitter. Lance McCullers is the type of pitcher that can go out there and get blown up in the first inning and pulled out, and then the next time he goes out on the mound, he throws a no-hitter. I mean, that's just how extreme he can be. Here comes a pitch to Myers. Up and in, ball one. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Inside, he takes that for ball two. They petitioned down to first base, but they say he didn't go. It's 2-0. Javier won't be getting any no-hitters now. That's hit pretty hard out to left field. Is it going to get down? No, it's going to get in the crowd. Towering fly ball out to left field for Jake. 2-1. The Lion says, you know who's not looking great? The trainers and the medical staff. Add to that list the hitting coaches and Joe Espada for not getting their hitting worked out. 93 on the outside. Strike two. They throw to first base, but Walker gets back. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Walker on first base. And Mr. Baseball, Jake the Rake, at the plate. Here comes the toss. Low and outside. Full count. Gregory says, I don't see the Astros keeping Sanchez next year. Why not? We've got control of him for the next couple of years. So why wouldn't we keep him? In the dirt, ball 4. Myers gets a walk, and that's the first walk for Bieber. Christian Walker walks to second base. Myers walks to first. Yainer Diaz comes to the plate with 2 runners on and 2 outs. The lobster count is not too bad right now, Marduk, because the Astros haven't had much traffic. They've got 3, but don't worry. Yainer is at the plate. He can get 2 more. 2 more lobsters. Here's the pitch. Right in there. Strike 1. 2 for the Blue Jays. That's the current lobster count right there. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Diaz. He chases that pitch. 92 on the outside edge. Fouls it off. 0-2. Here's the pitch. In the dirt. 1-2. Yeah, shrewdly, I don't have a problem with Sanchez. I mean, I think that they can work with him in the offseason and really improve his batting. Of course, all of the Astros need to do that, not just him, but I don't see any reason. Why would they get rid of Sanchez? He's an above average left-handed batter. He's not stellar. He's not a star, but he's not Christian Walker either. 90 inside. I mean, Christian Walker is like a solid average player. Right now, Yainer's trying really hard to be a solid average player, but he's got so much more potential. Here's the pitch. He goes up the middle all the way out to the wall. He makes a diving catch at the wall. That ball just kept floating out there and floating out there and floating out there, but ultimately he's able to catch it. I'm not really sure why he jumped. I guess he just didn't know where the wall was. That was not a bad hit by Yainer. Kind of a line drive fly all the way out to the center field wall. He made a bid. He made a bid for some runs. That would have scored 2 runs for sure if it had bounced off the wall. But Yainer gives us 2 more lobsters, so that's an update. The lobster count as of the end of the top of the 4th. There we go. 5 lobsters lost for the Astros, 2 for the Blue Jays. Yeah, I don't have a problem with Urias either. He's a really good defensive player. And another thing that I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Ramon Urias is one of the top 3 guys in all of MLB for sacrifice flies. So if we have guys on base with 1 out or 0 outs, he's a good guy to have at the plate. Much better chance of getting a sacrifice fly and advancing those guys than with other players. So he has the ability to drive the ball. And I'm not talking about, I'm not saying that these guys are, stars or amazing. But unless we can replace them with stars, it's kind of silly to think about trading them, I think. Prodigy wants to know why he threw to first base. Walker's not a base-stealing threat. And there were 2 outs. Well, actually, Walker is a small threat. He has stolen some bases. But the reason he threw over there is because he was trying to pick him off. He was close. He almost got him. He was just too far off of first base. I mean, that's what catchers do, right? If they think they're too far off the bag, they'll try to quickly throw over there and get him. He was just trying to pick him off. He thought he was too far off the bag. You almost got him, though. Are you talking about the pitcher throwing over there? But still, Walker did steal a base just the other day, I think. First pitch to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is out of the zone for ball 1. That one is right in the zone. 1-1. On the fastball. Almost got a shiner. Turned into a lobster. Left out to sea. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I haven't heard anything about Diaz being a free agent. I think we got him under control for a while. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fouled off. Count remains 1-2. Let's take a look. I see when Yiner's contract in. Okay, he's going to be eligible for arbitration next year. And he can become a free agent in 2029. Wow. Called strike 3. Crowd boos a little bit. Let's take another look at it. Good pitch. Perfectly placed pitch. It was a low outside corner. Nice. First out of the inning, Dalton Varsho comes to the plate. Fouls that one off. The curveball. 0-1. Yeah. Diaz can start negotiating his contract next year, but he's under team control until 2029. He'll become a free agent in 2029. Nice, right in there. Strike 2. Yeah, you're right, Michael. When blue ball's on, he's on. Here comes the 0-2. 96 on the outside, fouled away. The count remains 0-2. Well, yeah, I mean, there's no reason for us to trade Sanchez. I mean, I don't even know why you mentioned that, because why would we trade a left-handed bat like Sanchez, you know? We have him under control for a couple more years. We didn't rent him, you know. We traded for him, and he's still under contract, so we've got him. Fromber will be a free agent soon. Everybody knows that. 96 miles an hour, swing and a miss, just above the zone. Another strikeout, and that's 3 in a row for blue ball. How about that? Just blew it by him up there. Woof. "96 miles an hour, right above the zone." Varsho went after it, couldn't get it. Next batter is Alejandro Kirk. Oh, look at that. He bounces it right back to Blue Ball, who lobs it over to Walker and gets the out. Easy peasy Japanesey. Blue Ball looking nice since coming in. 2.5 innings pitched. No hits. No runs. The Astros are up to 5 hits and 2 runs. Astros lead the game 2-0. Going into the top of the 5th. That's what I was trying to say. No coffee this morning. That's probably why. I was having some really strong pains several days ago, over the course of several days, and they were really strong, cramped, tight pains around my kidney. And I thought, this is not good because my right kidney has a tumor on it. I don't need pains in my left kidney. And I did a little bit of research trying to figure out what might be going wrong. And I thought that there might be too much iron in my well water. So I decided to make one change. If you change everything and then you get better, you don't know what fixed it, right? So I made one change. I didn't change anything else. The only thing I changed was I stopped using my well water for my coffee and my tea. I only use it for showering and brushing my teeth, because there is a really strong iron flavor. And I did read that the side effects that the symptoms that I was suffering from can be when your iron levels are too high. And I was tasting iron, not just when I drink the water, but I was tasting it throughout the day. And within just a couple of days, I started feeling better. And now all of that pain is completely gone. So I've been buying bottled water for my coffee and tea. And I just ran out yesterday and I forgot to get more. So no coffee for me this morning. Alan Walker says Altuve currently has 2,374 hits, 253 homers, 324 stolen bases, barring injury. God forbid he should play long enough to get 3,300 and 350, becoming the only player to do that ever. Yeah, and you can add to that, Alan, another stat. He just needs a few more home runs in the postseason to be number 1. Whoa, Doobie almost gets hit in the face with that pitch. Don't let it shake you up, Doobie. 1 ball, 1 strike. Look at this. Wow. Blue Devils the Yankees Tigers game is 2-2. It's one of those difficult games. It's like, who do I want to win? But I guess because the Tigers are ranked higher, they have the better record. I'd rather see them lose. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Devon pops that one straight up in the air on the infield, and the first baseman Guerrero Jr. is underneath it. He puts it away. Out number 1. Jeremy Pena comes to the plate. Yeah, Blue Ball has been doing really good. I'm glad they brought him back. I know that some of it was out of necessity, but think about it, opportunity. Big opportunity for Blue Ball. Can you imagine if all of the Astros starting pitchers were healthy? He never would have had this chance this early. Up and inside, almost gets Jeremy. 2 balls and no strikes. Gregory wants to know, Gregory's your grade for being a member. Let me check. Ground ball towards third. Barger spins around and makes the throw, and that's out number 2. Jordan is at the plate, takes that first pitch low and outside. That was a little, kind of a bad pitch, but called a strike. Next pitch is in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike with 2 outs, nobody on. That one's sliced over into left field. It might be into the corner, and it is. Jordan should head to second base. He does. He strolls in. Opposite field double. So he has an opposite field home. I'm sorry, opposite field single today. Now the opposite field double. Maybe he goes for the opposite field cycle today. Jordan on second base with 2 outs for Carlos Correa. Carlos Correa. You are cadet, Gregory. There are 3 levels, 1, 2, 3. 1 is the lowest. That's cadet, and that's where you are. That's your membership level. Next pitch is in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes to Correa. Prodigy says, I was in favor of trading Valdez before the beginning of the season. They could have included a psychiatrist in the deal to be named later. It's possible. I wouldn't doubt it if we see the day where they start putting stuff like that in trades. Pitcher tries to pick off Jordan at second base. It's kind of nonsense. Here's the next pitch to Correa. Knuckle curve is right in there for strike 1. Yeah, the pitcher did. Bieber tried to smoke a doobie. Yeah, I just think my opinion hasn't changed. I don't think they could have traded Fromber this year. Oh, are you kidding me? The cutter was several inches inside and called a strike. Yeah, that's the first really bad call by this umpire. The umpire's been pretty good, but that one was bad. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. That's hit hard to right field. Ah, it's going to die. Out number 3. Caught by the right fielder. That looked a lot harder than I thought. It didn't look like a homer, but it looked like it might get over the head of the right fielder. It didn't. It died. Blue ball is going to be back up on the mound in just a moment. "29 pitches, and 22 of those are strikes." That doesn't mean that he's gotten strikes. It just means that, like swings and a miss, swing and a miss. It just means in the strike zone. That's what it means, in case you guys didn't know that. But still, that's awesome. 22 of your 29 pitches in the strike zone. That's freaking amazing. Astros up 2-0, going into the bottom of the fifth. Well, Gregory, are you talking about this year? You said we have Javier, we don't need Valdez. Well, first of all, there's no telling what Javier's going to do for the rest of the season and going into the playoffs. Number two, Valdez has already proven himself to be one of our two main pitchers this year, our two main most dependable pitchers. He's already proven that. And over the past few years, he's proven that. Number three, we need him right now. Right now, we need him. We need him to get to the playoffs. We need him in the playoffs. We need him for any chance at all to get to the World Series and win it. Without him, then there's just likely, and I say without him, what I mean is without good Fromber, there's just almost no chance from a pitching perspective for us to go all the way to the World Series and win it. So right now, Javier is no replacement for Valdez. He might be in the future, but he's not right now. 92 outside and high. First pitch to Addison Barger. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. 93 on the inside. How could that not be called a strike? That was on the inside edge. Called the ball 2-0. It looks like the umpire has shifted his zone a little bit. Here's the 2-0. Too far inside. On the changeup, 3-0. Here comes the 3-0. That's in there on the outside edge. 3 balls and 1 strike. Yeah, we can say all we want. Casey's right. Say all you want. It doesn't matter if it's about his head issues. That's a walk. 94 on the outside. Second walk for blue ball, but the first one he didn't get credit for. It was on Garcia. But yeah, he's got good cutters. His curve hasn't been as good recently, but he could always rediscover that, and he does have heat. So still one of our top 2 starters, that's the fact. Altuve is underneath this one. The very first pitch popped up by Barger, put away. Good job, Tuve. 1 down, runner stays on first base. Bears lost a game against the Vikings. Okay. I don't have any idea about how good those teams are. But I hear that Bears fans continually have struggles. I have a friend who likes the Bears. And she says that the fans always suffer. Here comes the pitch. 76 on the outside edge. Nice curveball. Joey Loperfido back at the plate. 0-1 count. Here comes the toss. A little outside. 1-1. Gregory, if I were to guess, I'd say Jake Myers. Just seems like that type of guy. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Nice. 95 mile per hour fastball on the outside edge. 1 ball and 2 strikes. No problem, Gregory. You're welcome about the membership thing. Hey, Daryl. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Gregory going all in on a Walker double. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Nice. Loperfido goes down again. High fastball. Go home, Loperfido. 95 mile per hour just above the zone. Got him to go after it. Striker Fido. 2 outs. Runner on first. Andres Jimenez at the plate. Goes after the very first pitch, and that's popped up. Pena is back. Another no-hit inning for the Astros. Blue ball looking really nice through 3.5, almost 3.5. No hits, no runs for the Blue Jays, for the Dirty Bluebirds. Astros riding the coattails of Correa's 2-run homer in the first. They're going to ride that wave all the way in, it looks like. What a game. Hey, Gregory, thank you so much for extending that membership. I love the Astros too. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that very much. I appreciate any of you who are willing to join up as a member and support the channel. By the way, for those of you who do not know, the monthly membership is super cheap. There are 3 different levels. Level 1 is super cheap. I think it's less than $2 a month. And level 2 maybe less than $5. I think level 3 is maybe $15 or so, something like that. It's significantly higher, but still at the top tier, $15 a month is still low. But for anyone who's wanting to help out even just a little bit, if you can't afford to make a sizable contribution or donation, a monthly sub $2 subscription is appreciated. It's within the reach of most people, I think. But it also goes a lot further here in Japan than it does in the US. Jose Altuve at the plate, baby. In the dirt. Don't throw that trash to my boy. Well, Prodigy, they've got some good swings, but they're still too aggressive for my likes. Outside and low, ball 2. I still don't think that their batting is good today. Some good at bats. I would say they've had some good swings. 86 in the bottom of the zone on the slider. 2 balls and 1 strike. De Los Santos is warming up for the Astros. It looks like blue ball might be finished. When we get to the bottom of the 6th, we'll see. Come on, Altuve. Here's the 2-1. Outside and low. Good. This is a good at bat. This one is really good. Altuve taking those pitches outside and taking the low pitches. It's 3-1. Here's the toss. Hey, line drive into left field. Altuve waits for the good pitch and ropes it out into left field. All right. Nice, smooth swing. Good at bat. 3-1 count. Oh, he stuck the tongue out. Look out. He's sticking the tongue out again. It's been a long time since I've seen him stick the tongue out. Jesus Sanchez at the plate. He fouls it off down the first baseline. Goes after the first pitch. 0-1 is the count. No outs. Top of the 6th. The Astros got something cooking. Hey, good looking. What you got cooking? Thanks, Daryl. I appreciate it. For those of you who have not seen my lobster video, please go check it out. I still have more to finish. 87 miles an hour outside. Everybody's talking about, I don't know what's wrong with the Astros batting. I don't know how to fix it. I do. And I'm not saying that because I'm smart. I just did the research. And I'm putting it into my next video. I hope you will check it out. But before I got to that, I had to explain to everybody, because a lot of people don't understand what I mean by lobsters. This is hit out into right field. The right fielder is going to have to float back and grab it. And he does. Altuve goes back to first base. Sanchez goes down with a nice line drive, a solid hit all the way out to the warning track. Man, how many Astros have put it on the warning track today? 6. Speaking of hitting it to the warning track, Walker comes to the plate. Gregory, you get to see if he gets that double you called for. Here's the toss. He fouls that one off. 92-mile-per-hour fastball. 1 down. Altuve on first base. Walker at the plate. Yeah, shrewdly, he did. He took a lot of pitches and then got a hit. He worked it out. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Walker. They throw down to first base to try to pick off Altuve after that pitch. He gets back. Altuve's still lying on the ground there. Next pitch to Walker on the way, the 1-1. Nope. Pitcher goes over to first base. They try again to pick off Altuve. Man, they really assaulting the Astros base runners today. And this is not a stealing team. What is wrong with the Blue Jays? Next pitch to Walker on the way. Swing and a miss on the slider, low and outside. I'm going to reload my screen. I think I'm a little behind the game right now. It's frozen a few times, so I'm going to reload it. Give me 1 second. The pitch count is 1-1 to Walker. Now it's 1-2 after I reloaded it. Here's the pitch. Low and outside in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The count's even. Casey Kendall. Just barely. I barely remember the name. It's the top of the 6th, Blue Devil. Here's the pitch. Walker strikes out. Half swing. He chases a pitch low and outside on the slider. No double, but Walker adds to his record-breaking strikeout total. Two down. Jake Myers comes to the plate trying to avoid more lobsters. We've got 2 more added this inning. Here comes the first pitch to Jake the Rake. Up and in, ball 1. Yeah, it does look like Altuve's having fun out there. That's good to see. It's not good to see that they're not bringing him around, though. Maybe Jake can do it. Come on, Jake. Here's the toss. That's hit into left field, and that'll be down for a hit. Got another single. Altuve gets the second. He puts his arm around the second baseman. That's funny. Altuve spreading the love. That was a nice hit by Myers. Look at that. Right off the end of the bat, so not off the fat part, but good enough for a nice single. Now we have 2 runners on, first and second. Pitching coach comes out and has a little chit-chat with Bieber on the mound. Bieber's up to 92 pitches, 51 of those strikes. Gregory, you giving up on Walker? There's no way. He's your guy. I thought you wanted to get rid of Sanchez and keep Walker. I don't know about you guys and gals, but I think that the stadium in Toronto, this baseball stadium, is one of the strangest ones I've ever seen. It looks like the design is backwards. The layout is backwards. Here comes the first pitch. Diaz is at the plate. Oh my gosh. Slider outside, low in the dirt. Half swing. Diaz, strike one. Diaz with an opportunity to either lose or bring home and cook some lobsters. Let's see what he decides to do. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Hey, line drive to left field. He's going to bring at least one home. Altuve comes home. Yainer Diaz does not commit the mortal sin of leaving Altuve on base. How about that? Good for you, Diaz. Good for you. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Bring my boy home. 3-0 Stros. He went out there and swung the bat with his eyes closed. Nice. Altuve's easily able to score, and Jake the Rake goes to second. Diaz gets to second. I'm sorry, Myers gets to third. Diaz goes to second. And that's going to be it for Shane Bieber. Bieber's out. We got a pitching change going on. And while they're doing that, I'm going to go grab myself another drink out of the fridge. I'll be right back. 3-0. 9 hits for the Astros now. 2 runners on here in the top of the 6th with Mauricio Dubon coming up next. Go Stros. Doobie at the plate with 1 ground out and 1 pop out today. How about now is the time to get a hit? Here's the first pitch. Yadiel Rodriguez is on the mound. This is hit out in the left field, right to the left fielder. Nice, solid hit on the very first pitch. Doobie can't wait to see some pitches. Got to go after the first one. 2 more lobsters left on. Could have just waited to see some more pitches. Didn't have to go after the first one. Rodriguez comes in. 1 pitch gets out of the inning. That was so anticlimactic. Let's see here. That's the end of the top of the 6th. A whole lot of action, but only 1 run to show for it. The Astros are up 3-0 with 9 hits. No errors for either team. The Blue Jays are all goose eggs so far. No errors, no hits, no runs through 5 innings. The bottom of the 6th coming up. Blue Ball has been pitching since the 2nd inning. I believe he started after 2 outs. Garcia went out of the game, for those of you who don't know. Garcia just suddenly had an issue with his arm. Was not feeling well or something. I assume it was with his arm. I don't know why he would just... I mean, it might not be his arm. Nobody said anything yet about what the cause is. But he just suddenly came out of the game and went straight into the locker room. I hope he's just got stomach problems or something. I hope that's what it is. But who knows? But Blue Ball has put up 3 1/3 innings of good pitching. 3 1/3. No hits, no runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts on 40 pitches. Good performance. De Los Santos is in the game for sure. Enyel de Los Santos. Bottom of the 6th. New Astros pitcher. Garcia is a starting pitcher, Jason. He started today. But he's out with some kind of problem right now. He started, but in the 2nd inning, he had some kind of problem. He had to come out of the game. George Springer is at the plate. Takes that first pitch for strike 1. Here comes the next pitch. Outside. Check swing. They say he didn't go. Ball 1. Leave it to Bieber. That's funny. Poached lobster and butter. Heavy on that butter. Here's the 1-1. Outside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Springer. Daryl says, got my soda and popcorn. Welcome back, sir. Here's the toss. Blue Devil, to just say that he got hurt in the 2nd inning isn't quite accurate. We don't know what's going on with Garcia. Just know that he had a problem and he came out of the game. And that's crushed to left field. That's gone, no doubter. So De Los Santos comes in, and the very first batter, George Springer, gets the first hit and the first run for the Blue Jays just like that. It's 3-1. Should have left Blue Ball in. I wonder why they pulled him out, though. He only pitched 3 1/3. 114 miles an hour on that homer. Only the 2nd earned run that De Los Santos has given up for the Astros so far. Nathan Lukes comes to the plate. Here's the pitch. And they put on the ridiculous jacket. 0-1 is the count. Here's the pitch to Lukes. He hits this one to center field, and Jake Myers comes in and makes the sliding catch. Good one. 1 out. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is the next due up. Well, yeah, Greg, but it's kind of like comparing when you compare Myers to Walker. We can only compare their bats, right? Because you're talking about a guy who plays center field versus a guy who plays first. So there's no way that they'd ever choose between them because they don't have to. But that's hit up the middle. That's going to be another hit. Blue Jays are getting the bat on the ball now against De Los Santos. One homer, one fly ball to center field, and now a single to center field. That's 2 hits this inning. Yeah, they're not going to let De Los Santos go beyond that. They're going to go ahead and bring in Okert. He's been warming up in the bullpen already. Elbow discomfort. Thank you, Happy today. Yeah, I guess from what it appeared, it looked like it would be something with his arm. It came up pretty quick. He didn't look sick, but since they didn't say, it's anyone's guess. But yeah, elbow discomfort. Not a good sign. Yeah, Mark, that's right. Thank you. Elbow discomfort. Yeah, that does every time somebody mentions the views and the likes. 141 people watching right now. Please like the live stream. Click the thumbs up button below the video. Should be over 100 likes right now, but we're only at 65. I appreciate you taking just a moment to like that for me. Yeah, I'm getting tired of hearing discomfort, shoulder discomfort, elbow discomfort. But I guess early on, what else can you say, right? I got you, Jason. That makes sense. But he's already pitched once. But he's definitely a starting pitcher. They wouldn't bring him back if he was only able to pitch a couple of innings. De Los Santos make Yamamoto. Steven Okert on the mound for the Astros. He is facing Dalton Varsho. Swing and a miss, 82 on the outside edge. We got a runner on first with 1 out. Oh, and 1 is the count. Here comes the pitch. Another swing and a miss. Nice slider on the outside edge. 0-2. A little fried Okert served up. Okert ahead in the count. 0-2. Another slider, but that one was way too far outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the Astros pitching staff right now, but but the coaching staff on the hitting side also is absolutely terrible at the moment. Okert changes the ball, gets a new one. It's going to give it a little love, rub it up. Mark says, Rangers winning, Yankees winning, we got to win. Here's the pitch. Up and in, swing and a miss. Nice. Strike 3. First batter faced. Strikeout number 1 for Okert. He serves it up. 2 outs, runner on first. Here in the bottom of the 6th. Here's the pitch to Kirk, Alejandro Kirk. Just a little above the zone for ball 1. Yeah, I was kind of confused there. I'm getting mixed messages on the Yankees-Tigers game. Here's the pitch. 79 miles an hour right in there. Maybe Mark is talking about recent games, not necessarily the game that's going on right now. Hey, Prodigy with another $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. Here's the pitch. 92 right in there. Swing and a miss. Good toss. I'm going to give that toss to Sarcastic Prodigy. Strikeout. Super chat. Okay, this is popped into left field, so it's a fly ball out. But I'm still going to call that super chat a strikeout super chat. That's out number 3. Okert gets out of it. He serves up the fried Okert. He comes in and does his job. Shuts it down. The solo homer by Springer, the only damage done that inning, besides the ego to the Astros hitting, which had a no-hitter going. The no-hitter is spoiled in the 6th. Simultaneously, the shutout is spoiled, but the Astros are up 3-1. Jeremy Pena is due up in just a moment in the top of the 7th, followed by Your Daddy, and then South Korea. So we have the Flash. I'll show you in order. We have the Flash, and then Your Daddy, and then South Korea. Yeah, Eric, we really do. Ort would also be another one of those guys if he hadn't gotten injured. We really needed these guys, Okert and Ort, to really be those good bridge relievers. Yeah, Okert has the potential. We'll see how he does. But I absolutely agree with you. You're correct. Yep, let's get some runs back. They get 1, let's get 2. If they get 1, let's get 2. Whew. Whew. Man. I want to take another look at the weather. The heavy weather, the heavy rain seems to have abated. I can't seem to get the weather website to load. What in the world is up with that? There it is, finally. Whoa. That looks terrible. Holy cow, look at that. Holy shnikes. Look at that. I just happened to be right there on the edge of it. Holy shnikes. Is that going to move towards me? Yeah, it's moving towards me. Holy crap. By the time noon gets here, by the time lunch gets here, woo, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Pena at the plate takes the first pitch for strike 1 or swings at it. I didn't get to see it. I was too busy being scared of the upcoming weather. That's outside, 1-1. Rodriguez still on the mound for the Blue Jays. Here comes a pitch. Outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Astros up to 10 lobsters, Marduk. Here's the pitch. That's a tapper at the mound. Rodriguez barehands it, and he throws the first, barely gets him. 1 away. Blue Jays have 7 lobsters now, so it's 10-7. Yordan Alvarez at the plate with 1 out. Wow, Tigers are running up the score, it looks like. Here comes a pitch. Right on the outside edge, strike 1, 96 miles an hour. That was a good pitch. Here comes the 0-1. A little too far outside on the splitter. 1-1. Eric wants to know if they deliver the $5 lunch in bad weather. Well, it's not a $5 lunch. They have an all-day breakfast. They have a big menu. It's a family restaurant. Hey, look at that! Alvarez goes to opposite field again. All of his hits today, all of his hits are left field. 3 for 4. 2 singles to the opposite field, 1 double to opposite field. He was smiling and laughing after he got on first base. He didn't even know that was out there. He thought that was a foul ball. He didn't even realize it was a hit. It was so far over he couldn't even see where the ball went. See right here. That's funny. Correa is at the plate. That pitch is just a little low. Called ball 1. But yeah, the family restaurant, there are 3 different family restaurants that I like. But unfortunately, 2 of those, they stopped doing any breakfast stuff at 10:30. However, there's another place called Joyful. They have 2 locations that I can go to from here. One is about 25 minutes away. The other is about 28 to 29 minutes away. And they have an all-day breakfast plate that's like $4.50. Oh, it looks like he hit him. He says he's okay. We're going to have runners on first and second with 1 out. They come out to take a look at him. But as far as delivery, no. I'm too far. I'm too far out in the countryside. I'm way too far from any places, any restaurants. There are no restaurants around here except for a couple of independent cafes. No chance for delivery. Now, I could pay the taxi driver to go pick it up and bring it here, but I think that would cost like 8,000 yen. It'd be like $60. There's no way. Correa's on first. He seems a little sore, but okay. Jose Altuve comes to the plate with 2 runners on. 10 hits for the Astros. 11 hits if you count the one that just hit Correa. Come on, young man. Hit that ball. Here's the first pitch to Altuve. Ah, he should have taken it. Swing and a miss. Slider on the outside edge. Well, I think the Yankees have been struggling. They've been struggling for a while now. Not just this game. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Outside, good take. 1-1. Thanks, Daryl. I appreciate it. I'm hoping that that rain doesn't get too heavy because I've done a lot of work in my backyard. I can park my van around the back now. But if it gets too mushy out there, I'm going to get a little worried. 2 balls, 1 strike. That's right, Prodigy. Old habits. Old habits. Just like, you know, the expression, a dog going back to its vomit. Isn't that in the Bible? Here's the pitch. That's fouled off. Gonna go out of play. 2-2 to Altuve. Eric says $60 and you don't know if it will be nibbled on in the car. I never do Uber Eats. Well, I will tell you this. This is Japan, so I don't have to worry about that. As long as the drivers are Japanese, it's going to arrive probably correct and fresh and complete. Quite different than the U.S. Altuve hits this one out into center field. Fly ball should be out. It is. Not deep enough for a tag. Runners stay on first and second. So that's 2 more lobsters for the Astros. They now have 12. It was time for Tuve to get a lobster, apparently. They're not going to let Rodriguez pitch to Sanchez. They're going to bring in another pitcher. So we got a little break here while they change pitchers. Correa and Jordan on first and second with 2 outs. 10 hits for the Astros, 12 lobsters so far. It's turned into a pretty bad lobster loss game for the Astros. 12 men, 12 opportunities lost. They've only capitalized to bring in 3. Smith is not in the game, the Lion. Sanchez is up. If Smith were in the game, they wouldn't be changing the pitcher right now. Cam Smith has not been in the game at all today. Sanchez is up, and he is batting 5th. Yeah, it's a day for the Ducks. I think the Ducks are really nice and happy today. Excuse me. Suddenly the thunderstorms have stopped. Let's take a look at an update. Okay, there I am right in the middle. It's a little after 10 o'clock right now. So I'm right at the, you can see I'm right at the edge of the bad weather. At 10:30. So it should be clear for the next 30 minutes or so. But when it gets to 11, it's going to start rolling back in. So in about 1 hour, it'll be rolling back in. 11:30, it'll start getting heavier. Lunchtime, heavier. 12:30, a little heavier. 1 o'clock, should be pretty heavy. But look at what's coming through here. If you see that, you can see what's coming. This is now. It was really bad. And as it gets further east, it doesn't look as bad. But it's getting there. Interesting. Oh, now they they bring in Cam Smith for pinch hitting. First pitch is a strike. I didn't see it because I was looking at the weather again. So instead of letting Sanchez bat against the left-hander, they decided to pinch hit Cam. '86 on the outside, man. That was about 2 inches outside the zone, called strike 2. Not such a good call by the umpire, but whatever. Here comes the 0-2 pitch in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. We got 2 runners on. Is Cam going to go the Diaz route and bring home one of those lobsters, or is he gonna lose them? Oh, DeLine, yeah, I see what you're talking about. Platooning based on the pitchers. But whenever they went to commercial break, they didn't say anything about them bringing Cam in, so there was no way for me to know that. I'm actually kind of surprised, even though Sanchez is not good against lefties. Kind of surprised that they brought in Cam right now. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cam. Here's the pitch. Crank it up, boy. Too far inside. 3-2. Full count. Eric, trust me. There we go. That's another walk in the dirt. Until you've lived in Japan a little while, I mean, I'm glad that Cam wasn't actually swinging. I think that he had a better result by walking. Bases loaded for Christian Walker with 2 outs. High and inside. Walker smiles at that one. It's called a strike. But trust me, Eric, until you've experienced weather in Japan, you haven't experienced variety. Trust me. Here comes the 0-1. High and inside again, this time ball 1. 1-1. See, in Japan, you don't just have the heavy rains. If you said you call that a drizzle, you have no idea. You have no idea what you're talking about here because, man, that's grounded foul down the third baseline. Japan is made up of mostly mountains and hills everywhere. And so whenever it rains, and they have heavy rains, they have typhoons, they have monsoons, they have heavy rains. Texas doesn't have monsoons. It's obvious the reason why they don't. But here's the thing. Because of all the slopes and the mountains, there are lots of landslides here. Lots of people get killed and houses are destroyed by landslides. And sometimes you get the heavy thunderstorms and rains, and then it's followed up or joined in by a typhoon. So no, it's much worse here than. That's in the dirt. They say he didn't swing. 1-2 is, or 2-2 rather, is the count to Walker. Tornadoes. Texas gets tornadoes. That's true. But only certain parts of Texas, like Houston, gets the hurricanes. Everywhere in Japan can get a typhoon. Everywhere in Japan gets landslides. Everywhere it gets earthquakes. Everywhere it gets thunderstorms and monsoons. Walker strikes out again. Half swing. He didn't even go all the way through. That's going to end the inning. 2 more lobsters for the Astros. I think that's 17. How many for the Blue Jays? Just 7. Astros now up to 17 lobsters. It's becoming a terrible game for the Astros. They're lucky to have 3 runs on the board. But with 17 lobsters, they really should have about 7 or 8 runs right now. Bases were loaded. Yeah, he did. What do you mean he didn't swing? It was a terrible swing. It was like a half swing. It was a terrible pitch and a terrible swing. It was all garbage. It was all garbage. I'm very excited and happy whenever Walker comes through, but I keep my expectations very low so that I'm not let down. Because more often than not, it's a disappointing result. Eric, you're right. It can be miserable. That's why you have to be very careful about where you move to and what house you get. Many of the houses that you can buy here, the abandoned houses, the old houses, there's a real danger of a landslide. If you actually look from where I'm sitting now, the rain has started again here. It's coming down pretty strong, but if you, from where I'm sitting right now, if you look out my window, right out there towards the mountain, there's kind of a little, there's a little dip area, and you'll notice that in that particular area, the trees are missing. And the reason that the trees are missing there is because there was a massive landslide there in 2018. If you come to Hiroshima and you ask the local Hiroshima people, can you tell me about the storms in 2018? They'll say, oh my gosh, it was terrible. Everybody knows about that around here. 2018 was it's a very infamous time for people in Hiroshima. Just typhoons plus thunderstorms happening at the same time, flooding, massive landslides all over the place, lots of homes destroyed, people's lives lost. It was horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Addison Barger at the plate. Okert is quickly ahead, 0-2. Throws that one low and outside for ball 1, 1-2. Eric, you're right. Walker never gets a day off, and Caratini can never get in the lineup. Amen to that. This is sit out in the left field, and Doobie can't get to it. It's going to be off the wall. It'll be a double. Myers grabs it and brings it in. Leadoff double for Barger. Third hit for the Blue Jays. 3-1 right now as it stands. The tying run comes to the plate with Ernie Clement. Yeah, it wasn't quite as low as it needed to be. He was able to get to it. That came down right above his knees, so he was able to hit it. Come on, Okert. I agree shrewdly. Walker's at bat was indeed abysmal. Here's the first pitch to Clement. 91 up and out. The sad thing about Walker's at bat was how he was laughing and smiling and shaking his head at strike calls, or at that strike call right off the bat that was clearly in the corner of the zone. That's one of the things that I'm just never going to be understanding of, is batters who come to the plate and start criticizing a pitch that's in the zone. Just hit the ball, you know? Do what you're supposed to do. Your job is to hit the ball, get on base, drive runners in, etc. Just do that. Umpire's not always going to be right. But when he is right, and you scoff like he isn't, that's retarded. 2-0. Well, you know, he is a very solid average player. You got to give him that. Here's a pitch. Wow, a little outside, but he got that one. 2-1. Runner on second, no outs. Ernie Clement at the plate. Steven Okert up to 17 pitches with this delivery. That's hit hard to left field, but right at Dubon. He throws it in to second base. Barger was leaning towards third. Out number one. Joey Loperfido comes to the plate. Yeah, Mark. I was wondering if anybody would notice that. It's just one of those things where it happens and I'm just too lazy to change it. Joe Espada, speaking of Okert, he's being pulled for Brian King. Brian King will be in for the Astros. We've got a pitch swap going on right now. Yeah, whenever I make a new pitcher portrait, the problem is that it doesn't happen very quickly. So if I have to come up with it during the game, it's a major inconvenience. And if it doesn't make it properly the first time, then it makes it an even bigger inconvenience. So if I get a picture that's good enough, I'll go ahead and slip it in there with the intention of going back and fixing it later. But it's not a very high priority item, so I just kind of left it in there. But Mark, you're the first one to notice that. Good for you. Good eye. Magnum PI will be in the game for the Astros in just a moment. I don't know, Gregory. I wish we could have gotten a left-handed first baseman. To be honest, that would have been awesome. To get a really good. I mean, if his defense was just good, it doesn't have to be great, right? It doesn't have to be Gold Glove, but good first baseman plus really good hitting. That's what I wanted. First pitch from King is on the way. 90 low and inside, ball 1. Runner on second. 1 out. Ty France is at the plate. 91. France is batting for Loberfido. 1 ball, 1 strike to France. Come on there, Magnum PI. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Nice. 91 mile per hour fastball just above the zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Let's see how many likes we have on the live stream. If you have not liked the live stream, I'd appreciate you doing that right now. Here comes the next pitch. Fouls it off, up and in. 146 people watching. We are still 15 shy of 100 likes. Now is the perfect opportunity for you to go ahead and click like. Click that thumbs up below the video. Thank you in advance for doing that. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Too far inside, 2-2. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. King gets a ground ball to Correa. He holds him at first, or second rather, and then throws to first. That's out number 2. First batter faced goes down to King. We're going to have another pinch hitter for Jimenez. They're having a little chit-chat on the mound. He's only been with the Blue Jays for a week. They claimed him off of waivers. That's interesting. Falefa. Should be, according to statistics, an easy out for King. We'll see. Barger on second base, 2 away. Here comes the first pitch. A little high, ball 1. Maybe so, Eric. Could have taught Jose Abreu to bat lefty. Could have done better. You never know. Or just tell him to bunt 100% of the time, no matter who's on base. No matter how many outs, no matter how many on, 100% of the time you just bunt the ball. Just become a master bunter. In batting practice, only bunt. 2 balls and no strikes. Got a good call there. Diaz had to quickly get it to frame it, but the umpire liked it and it was in the corner, so that's strike 1. 2-1. Here's the toss. Nice. 92 at the top of the zone. Swing and a miss. Here's the toss. Hey, strike 3. Rung him up. Look at that. Magnum PI pulls out the 38 or the whatever gun he uses. I don't remember. What didn't Magnum PI have a gun? Which one did he use? Was it the 38? 38 special or something? I don't know. I'm going to look that up. What gun did the original Magnum PI use? He used a Colt. But he didn't use the .45 caliber. He didn't use a Colt .45. It was a 9mm Colt. Interesting. Never knew that. So I can say that Magnum PI pulled out the 9mm. Brian King. Hey, look at that. Charlie! Good to see you. Konnichiwa to you, sir. Thank you. Charlie says, Konnichiwa, thank you again. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. And arigato for sponsoring today's stream from Hiroshima. Sarcastic Prodigy with another super chat. Sweet. That's sweet. Thank you, sir. Arigato for the double down super sweet chat. Go Stros, baby. Thank you so much, guys. Charlie and Prodigy, thank you so much for those. Fox at Bat says Brewers are up over the Strangers 3-1. That's good news. Good news. Bingo indeed. All right. Tommy Nance. A Nancy boy. We got a Nancy boy on the mound. Myers goes after it immediately all the way out to center field and at the wall. Ah. Oh no, you toyed with my heart. Jake Myers toys with the heart. Almost hits a home run to direct center field. Right to the wall. Center fielder makes a play at the last moment to get it right at the wall. 400 feet. Look at that. Just another foot or so and it would have been out of the park. Another foot. So close. Diaz comes to the plate. The first pitch, 94 on the outside. Strike 1. Yeah, Gregory. Walker, 240 average in his career makes sense. 250 is like bottom of the barrel average, right? This the most common average. But 240 is, yeah. I'd like to have everybody on my team consistently batting 275. If everybody on my team was batting 275, I'd be happy with that. We don't need anybody batting 300. But 240 and below is just not acceptable. Here's the pitch. Outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Yiner. Eric, I think probably so. JP France is becoming more and more of a reality. Here's the 1-2. Yiner Diaz goes to right field with another hit. How about that? 3 for 4 is Mr. Diaz. Why aren't you doing that with bases loaded, amigo? For reals. Opposite field line drive. Getting those opposite field hits is something that Yiner has the ability to do. Why is he closing his eyes when he's swinging the bat? You don't close your eyes. Are you scared of the ball? Yiner's a catcher. Why is he closing his eyes when the ball comes in? Dubon takes the first pitch all the way. He was not even thinking about swinging. That's strike 1. Let's say the Astros are getting close. That's up the middle. Might be a double play. And he gets it. Unassisted double play to the second baseman. That will be one more lobster. Rack that up to the total. 16 for the Astros right now and 10 for the Blue Jays. That's our updated lobster count. 11 hits for the Astros, 3 hits for the Blue Jays. We are finished with 7.5 innings. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Astros up 3-1. Let's see here. Let's see what we got going around the majors. Yeah, 11-2 in the top of the 8th. Yankees have little chance of coming back in that game. And let's see. Curbs beating up on the Braves. The Rays one ahead of the Sox. Bottom of the 5th, Brewers up 3-1 over the Strangers. That's good. Mariners don't start, but yeah, maybe just a few minutes later they'll be playing the Cardinals. They're showing some highlights of Myers' catch earlier. George Springer is due up next for the Blue Jays. Bottom of the 8th. Let's get it done. Brian King is going to stay on the mound for the Astros and pitch here in the 8th. George Springer is up 1 for 3 today with a homer off of De Los Santos, the only run on the board for the Blue Jays. 90 above the zone. Ball 1. That'd be something to be proud of, I think. A career 275 hitter. That's something to be proud of. 79 low and inside. He gets the call. 1-1. 275 is not average. Or do you just mean his average, overall average? Two balls and 1 strike. Here comes the toss. Fouled off. King comes in with the 2-2. Broken bat right to Pena. How about that for an easy out? That's what you want to get on Springer right there. Broken bat. Pop out to Pena. Pop out to Pena. Out number 1 for King. Nathan Luke's due up. Brian Abreu is warming up in the bullpen. Let's hope he has a standard Abreu performance, not recent Abreu performance. First pitch to Luke's is on the way. He grounds it straight to Pena, who fires over to first. Out number 2, just like that. How about that? 2 up and 2 down, baby. Next batter at the plate, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. A little inside on that fastball, ball 1. Man, that could have been a strike right there on that upper outside corner. Call the ball. 2-0. With 2 outs, nobody on. King trying to lock it up here in the bottom of the 8th. That's a little punch shot right through on the right side. Altuve has no chance to get to it. Guerrero on first base. That'll be the 4th hit for the Blue Jays. And another opportunity for them to have a lobster. It might be the last batter for King. Dalton Varsho comes to the plate. There, no, King is still in. Broken bat to Christian Walker. Super easy inning there. Just 1 hit. A couple of broken bats for King. He uses his Colt 9mm to shut it down. So besides the solo homer by Springer off of De Los Santos, the Blue Jays haven't been able to put anything on the Astros in 8 innings. Top of the 9th coming up, Jeremy Pena due up, followed by Yordan Alvarez and Carlos Correa. Sure would be nice. Prodigy says, let's get some insurance run, please. Absolutely would be nice. Yep, King did his job, Doug. You're right. Magnum PI, baby. He was on today. Rangers tied it up. That's no good. Yeah, 3-3 in the 5th. Freaking Rangers. Seranthony Dominguez comes in the game for the Blue Jays. We got a right-hander. Pena is going to lead it off, and he swings at the first pitch, goes straight up. It might be playable by the catcher, and he does put it away. Pena fouls out on the very first pitch. The Astros commentators were talking about this type of pitcher, the kind of pitcher that Sir Anthony is. And they were like, this is a good opportunity for the Astros because they can be more selective with the pitches that they swing at. And Pena goes after the very first pitch and fouls out. Couldn't be more humorous. Jordan comes to the plate. Let's go, baby. Here's a pitch. 97 right in there on the outside edge for strike one. Oh, 1. Jordan grounds that one to the right side. The first baseman grabs it, tosses to Dominguez, who covers, and that's out number 1. 3 pitches, 2 outs. So the Astros bats are being super selective right now. Oh, the Astros, I swear. Abreu still warming up in the bullpen. South Korea comes to the plate. Here comes the pitch. Little outside, ball 1. Is he being selective? Yeah. If you're going to call a home run for somebody on the Blue Jays, he's the guy to pick. That's in there for strike 1. The count's even. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. Taken outside, 96 miles an hour on the fastball. 2 balls and 1 strike. Rangers just took the lead. It's 4-3. 4-3 in the 5th. Whoa, 98 up and in. Almost hit him. Correa like a magnet today. Three balls and 1 strike. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. 97 right in the middle of the zone. Full count. I agree, J. Paul. This game shouldn't even be close. We should have 7 or 8 runs on the board right now. Full count. Little outside. Barely missed. Crowd boos, but it was outside the zone. Ball 4. Good take and good call. Prodigy says that it's the Rangers' crappy hitters getting lucky in those games. I don't doubt it at all. Altuve's at the plate. Wow, he shows bunt and it's way up inside. Dominguez didn't take too kindly at Altuve showing bunt there. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 outs, a good opportunity for Altuve to come up big. Come on, some insurance runs. Fouls it off. 1-1. Here comes a 1-1 pitch to Altuve. He holds up there. No swing. 2 balls and 1 strike. Good hold up on the Swiffer. That's right. Tommy says, get her done. Tommy want homie. Homie. Altuve homer. 97 above the zone. He fouls it off. He was trying. 2-2. Daryl's right. We do everything the hard way. Can't make it easy. Stacked lineup. Can't score. Can't drive guys in. Stacked pitching staff. Everybody gets injured. 86 inside. Good take. Full count. Even the things that aren't completely in their control seem to be the hard way. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. That's in there. Hit out to left field. Easy fly ball. Drop it. Error. Oh, no. He catches it. Is that Blade Rogers out there in left field? That's the way that the Astros are going to wrap up the first 9 innings of play from the plate is 3 runs. 2 in the first with a homer. A double and a homer. Pena and Correa to get them on the board early. After that, didn't score for 4 innings. Didn't score through 4 innings. In the 6th, tacked another run on the board. Diaz got a nice little double, driving in Altuve. 3-0 at the time. Springer hit a homer, making it 3-1. Now we're in the bottom of the 9th in Toronto with Brian Abreu on the mound for the Astros. Trying to shut this down and give us a much needed win. Players of the game right now, out of the 5, it's nice to see 4 Astros, top performers in the game. Correa, blue ball, Diaz, and King, actually. It's funny that they have Barger up there as one of the players of the game instead of Springer, considering Springer has the only RBI, and that's a homer. That doesn't make any sense at all to me. Astros now, the Rangers now at 5-3 over the Brewers. They had a nice inning, it looks like. 5-3 over the Brewers in the top of the 6th. It's just a strange looking. It doesn't look like a baseball stadium. It looks like a concert venue. Brian Abreu about to deliver his first pitch to Alejandro Kirk. Captain Alejandro Kirk.
That was strike 1 on the inside edge of the plate. Don't swing at those, just stand there and take it.
Here's the pitch. Low and outside to Captain Kirk. Discount Kirk. Discount Captain Kirk. 1 ball, 1 strike. 3 up and 3 down. Sounds good to me, Daryl. Here comes the next pitch from Abreu. Low and inside, ball 2. 2-1.
There's something inside and low. It's a ball. Captain's log start date today. I have a 2-1 count. That one's high and inside. I think I'll take it.
3 balls and 1 strike to Alejandro Kirk. Jay wants to know who's going to take Garcia's spot. Viva la France. You never know. We'll see. Wow. 5-pitch walk. That one's high. And Abreu didn't throw much in the zone there. So he decides to go ahead and get started right off the bat with the jam. Taqueria Arandas. Jeremy Pena, Taqueria Arandas commercial. Correa, Abreu, Diaz. Serious discussion going on. He's like, okay, I got you. I think I got that. I like it whenever they come out of the little huddle there and Abreu's smiling. It's like, what were they saying? I want to know what they were saying in that huddle. Addison Barger at the plate. 83 miles an hour right in there. Strike one on the slider. Here's the toss. Nice. Another slider. Low and inside. Strike two. Here comes the 0-2 pitch from Abreu. Ground ball opposite side, just barely foul. Count remains 0-2. Beat me up, Scotty. Hey, Dr. Delay. I see you've been busy. How are the streams going? You've got a lot more on your plate right now with football, right? Here's the 0-2 pitch to Barger. Outside. 1-2. Runner on first. Abreu looking for a double play or a strikeout. What will he choose? Here is the 1-2s. Nice. He goes with the strikeout. 96 miles an hour just above the zone and a swing and a miss. Barger goes down. Yep, right across the lower part of the chest. Ernie Clement at the plate. Of course, I remember Mike Scott. He was one of the big names back in the day on the mound for the Astros. I hope you get less bleh. If you're not getting much sun, make sure you get plenty of vitamin D and vitamin K. That's it up the middle, and that's going to be a hit. Runner might go to third. No, he holds up. Myers is able to come in quickly and hold him up, so runners will be held at first and second. 1 out, 2 runners on. That brings up Davis Schneider, the pinch hitter for the pinch hitter. Diaz comes back out to the mound. Josh Miller is going to come out to the mound. They're going to have a party. Everybody out to the mound. The whole infield. Go ahead and invite the crowd. Everybody get on it. Get the Blue Jays dugout out there. Drag everybody out there for this mound meeting. Aubrey is right. Just please end the game. Just please end the game. But Dr. D, I'm okay. I can't complain right now. I'm not full of energy, and it's been a little hot, but now with the rain and the thunderstorms today, it's cooled off a lot. Temperature is not bad. It feels nice and cool in here right now, actually. I'm not sure exactly how many saves he has, Marduk, but he hasn't been in the save role very long. He's been the 8th inning guy. So he's a setup guy. Not really a 9th inning guy. He had to go into that role because of Hader, you know. Here's the pitch. Low and outside. Davis Schneider at the plate. Ball 1. The crowd finally starts getting into it. This crowd doesn't deserve a victory. What's the downside to Abreu? What's the downside to Abreu? I don't know what the downside to Abreu is. I mean, occasionally he has a difficult outing. But for the whole season, he's been one of the best relief pitchers in all of the majors. So I don't know what the downside is to Abreu. Looks like they got an adult batter at the plate, if you know what I'm saying. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Ooh, he almost hit him on the inside. 3-0. High stress situations have been his weakness later. Later? What do you mean? You mean recently? He's only had 2 breakdowns recently. That's in there for strike 1, 97 miles an hour. 3-1 is the count. Little double play right here will get us out of the inning and win this game. Come on, Abreu, you can do this. There's a 3-1 pitch to Schneider. Swing and a miss, and he took him down to his knee on that one. 96 miles an hour. Look at this. Beautiful spin there. Ooh. Get on your knee and pray to God, boy. You worship God? Yes, I do. Well, today, Abreu's your God. Here comes the full count pitch. Ooh, right on the outside, called ball 4. That was not a bad pitch, just a little too far outside. Bases juiced. Now this is what you live for right here, right, Joe? Joe Espada should say, this is exactly where Abreu wants to be. This is exactly where Abreu wants to be. He got out of the bed this morning hoping for bases loaded with 1 out in the 9th inning, up by 2. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 1. On the slider. Falefa at the plate. George Springer on deck. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 87, right below the zone on the slider. Yeah, that's right. It's always the full count, Brea. That's right. I think the Yankees were always falling today. They were falling in slow motion. Here's a 1-1 pitch. That's hit out into left field. That's going to be down for a hit. Maybe he'll score 2 runs. Here comes the throw from Doobie. They send him home. It's not in time. Three to 3. It's tied up. And because of the throw home, yeah, that slider stayed up too far. It started high, and it came in right across his waist instead of going in at his waist and coming in low. Doobie brought it home. It might have been able to get there, but he short hopped it. If it had been all the way, they might have could have gotten him, but now we have runners on 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. Springer at the plate. Swing and a miss, 97 above the zone. Strike 1. Well, it's like I've said before over and over again. The Astros bats are a coin toss. 3 runs against a team is not good enough. You need to be scoring at least 4. 98 miles an hour right in there, strike 2. And right on time, the rain has returned here. It is heavy again. Heavy, heavy. 0-2 to Springer. Here's the pitch. High and outside. 2-1. I'm sorry. Well, yeah, Alejandro, yeah, the pitching, strike 3. The pitch, but look at it though. The pitching has not been the problem in this game. You can't in this game. Nice strikeout on Springer. Big strikeout right there. Springer didn't know. He's like, did he catch it? Holy cow, how'd you catch that? 2 outs. Miles Straw at the plate. Half swing, strike 1. 98. Abreu has started throwing the ball even harder than before. He hasn't been throwing those upper 90 fastballs until the past couple at bats. He must be a little angry. Here's the 0-1 pitch. 98 again, outside, ball 2. I'm sorry, ball 1. 1-1 is the count. The problem today for the Astros has been the left on base guys. That's a strike. Beautiful. 98. Lower outside corner. 1-2. The crowd is booing, but that was a strike. Come on, Abreu. I still back you, bro. I'm an Abreu fan. Still am. I'm not going to abandon him just because of a couple of bad innings, bad outings. I blame the Astros bats this game. Why do they have only 3 runs on the board? Astros have had 17 extra opportunities to bring guys around the bases, and they failed. They only have 3 runs on the board in this entire game. It's not Abreu's fault. I blame it on the Astros bats. Come on, Abreu. Get this strikeout. It's 1-2. 30th pitch of the inning coming up against Straw. Here it is. This is punched out to center field. Myers is in, and he puts it away for out number 3. Got extra innings. So Abreu gets out of it, gives up 2. Top of the 10th coming up. Well, Alejandro, what you're saying right there is called recency bias. Recency bias. If the Astros were down by 1 run in the 9th inning, and they loaded up the bases and then didn't drive in a run and wound up losing the game, you'd be saying the same thing about the batting. So I don't think it's... We haven't been... I mean, our bullpen not locking down the end of the games, I don't think that's been a big issue for the Astros this year. So I don't know why that's even being mentioned. The Astros have had a lot of injured pitchers, and we've had to play musical chairs with our pitchers. We've used so many this year, it's ridiculous. So I can't give any hate to the Astros bullpen because we've got guys in roles that they're not supposed to have. I mean, Brian King just pitched 2 innings. He wasn't supposed to do that. Brian Abreu is pitching in the closer role. He's not supposed to be doing that. We got a couple of other pitchers in there. One is a minor league rookie, pitched several innings. He's not supposed to be doing that. We had our opener not even last 2 innings. He went out with elbow discomfort. I mean, look, give them some slack. For the love of God, give them some slack. Considering what has happened this game for the Astros pitching staff, they've only given up 3 runs in 9 innings. I mean, you got to be happy about that. If we had a starter, like if Garcia had stayed in for 5 innings and gave up 3 runs, everybody would be like, I can handle that. I can accept that. But here we are in the beginning of the 10th inning. How can we be upset that they've given up 3 runs through 9 innings? I can't be upset about that. The Batman Victor Caratini is up with Altuve, Superman, on second base. Hey, Sports and Fun, thank you so much for that super chat. I appreciate that very much. Thank you so much. Let's watch sports and have some fun. Here's the pitch to Caratini. He goes after the first slider, swing and a miss. It looks like Jeff Hoffman is in the game for the Blue Jays. Hasselhoffman. Here comes the next pitch. Caratini swings to that one too and fouls it off down the first base side. 0-2. I wouldn't say we were doing so good. The pitchers overall have done really well this game, actually. The Astros bats below so-so. Here's the pitch. He gets this one pulled. They go to third base to get Altuve. Are you kidding me? That was ripped to the first base side by Caratini, and the first baseman went straight to third and got Altuve easily. He didn't even have an opportunity to try to get a slide in. Not really. Well, Caratini's on first, one out. Christian Walker comes up. Walker, if you're going to redeem yourself with a home run, now would be the good time to do it. They bring in Trammell to run for Caratini. What do people deserve? That wasn't bad base running. That was just a really hard hit pitch. I mean, I don't know. That was just bad luck. 94 below the zone. Actually, Eric, I do know a little bit of sign language. I used to have a deaf friend when I was in high school, middle school through high school. In the youth group I was in, I had a friend who was deaf. Trammell is stealing second base. Here's the throw. He's in there. Yes, Trammell gets himself to second base. Slides to the outside of the bag and barely keeps himself on. Look at this. Look at him just hang on to the edge of that bag. Good job. Runner on second, 2-0 to Walker. Come on, Walker. Skywalker, pull out the lightsaber, baby. He fouls it off. Man, the rain is really coming down. It is heavy, heavy. Here comes the 1-2, or 2-1 pitch, rather. Ripped down the third baseline, foul. The count is now even, 2-2. Yeah, it was definitely a blown save. Elvis, we had a chance to win 3-1 in the ninth, but Abreu got himself into a jam, gave up a couple of runs. Now we're in the 10th inning, so that's what you missed. It wasn't the Springer curse. Springer struck out. He didn't contribute. Here's the pitch. Walker hits this one straight up. Looks like it's going to be covered by the first baseman. He grabs it in foul territory. Trammell stays at second base. That's 2 down. Jake Myers due up. Now Myers drove one out to the center field fence. Ah, okay. So Altuve, they finally showed the whole run by Altuve. Yep, that was a base running error for sure. I didn't get to see that. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. I assumed that Altuve was off and running immediately, just like he should have been. But that was a rifle shot down the first baseline. But because he ran so slowly at first, looking back at first, it gave the first baseman time to get the ball over there. This is hit out to center field again, but that's going to be playable. Yeah, Myers plays around again. 2 hits deep to center field, but both of them playable, and that's going to be it for the Astros. I was wondering about that because I thought, man, there was more than enough time for Altuve to get to third base. So if he was hustling to third base, throw over there and tag him out, What can you do about that? It must have just been that rifle shot by Caratini to first base. But when you go back and you look at the replay and you see that Altuve was kind of half-heartedly running to third, that's definitely on him. Yep, that's right. If he had been running like he was supposed to, he would have been safe. That's why my assumption was that Altuve was running full speed, and that because it was hit so hard by Caratini, the first baseman was able to just throw it over there in time. But now that I see the replay, yep, that's Altuve's fault. He should have been running really, really fast. Yeah, the game's definitely not over yet. And I wouldn't say that we deserve this loss. Why? Why would we... you can ask the same question about winning. Why does anybody deserve to win or lose? But I do think that it's more fair, I guess you could say, whenever the fans are very rude or not engaged at all in the game and their team wins. I would say that they don't really deserve it because of the way they act. But I don't think that we've done anything, or the Astros team has done anything to not deserve to lose or not deserve to win. Craig Kimbrell is on the mound now for the Astros. Miles Straw is on second base for the Blue Jays. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at the plate. He's facing Craig Kimbrell. Here's the pitch. Ooh, that could have been a strike at the top of the zone. Called a ball. Bench Altuve for not running like an ML. I don't think so. Here's the pitch. The 1-0. That's right in there. Fouled off. 1-1. Here's the pitch, the 1-1. That's a tapper. Straw will go to third. Altuve goes to first. They call it safe. The tapper was just too slow. Altuve's not able to grab and get to first. Now we have runners on first and third with no outs. Yeah, Miles Straw is pretty fast. Astros are having a little meeting on the mound with Kimbrell. We got runners on the corners with no outs. Dalton Varsho. Astros don't have anybody to blame but their bats for this game. 20 lobsters for the Astros. Blue Jays also have 16. They haven't done much better. It's just been a game of stranding a lot of runners on base. Here's the pitch. High and outside, ball 1. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Varsho swings at that one, fouls it back. 1-1 is the count. Well, let's see here. Did I get to 100 likes on the live stream? It's up to 106, so that's good. At least the support is there. The community's still there. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Kimbrel. Varsho swings at that one, fouls it off. Foul tip into the glove of Diaz. 1 ball and 2 strikes. No thunder right now. The rain has slacked. It is light right now. Here's the 1-2. Nice pitch. 93 above the zone. Swing and a miss. Varsho strikes out. 1 away. Tyler Heineman is pinch hitting for Kirk. Here comes the pitch. He shows a bunt. Oh, he fouls it up in the air, but it goes to the backstop. Strike 1. That would have been nice to bunt that in the air in play. How great would that have been? Would that have been? Oh, don't worry about it, Gregory. Here's the pitch. He shows bunt again. This one is in the dirt. Did he try to go after it? No. Okay, 1-1. Well, the Astros can't even expect to get to the postseason if they don't fix the batting problem. I mean, forget getting through the postseason. Got to get to it first. And this is a very important game against the Blue Jays on the road. We need this game. That's hit hard. That's going to be gone, I think. Oh, it's foul. Whew. That was home run distance, but foul. He's smiling about that one. He knew that he had it. He just got around too early, but that's a big strike, too. Wow, even Espada was smiling about that one. You got one back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the toss. Ground ball. Walker goes home and tries to stop the run, but he can't, and that's it. Walker dove, got it. The Blue Jays are running out onto the field like they just won the World Series or something. 4-3. Astros lose in the bottom of the 10th off of an infield grounder. Walker made a good diving catch, but there was just no chance to get the runner at home, and that's 4-3. The Astros wind up having 20 missed opportunities with runners on bases today. They only scored 3 runs. The Blue Jays had 18 missed opportunities, but they scored when it mattered the most, and that's what they needed to do to win the game. I'm going to jump over here. Let's take a look at something more interesting right quick. Let's take a look at the games around the league. Let's see what's going on with the MLB scoreboard so we can see where the Astros stand today. The Rangers are in the bottom of the 7th, up 5-3 over the Brewers right now. So over the next couple of innings, it'll be interesting to see if the Brewers can come back and win that game. The Mariners are still down 2-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. Still got a lot of baseball left in that game, so it could go either way. But I think maybe the best we can hope for today, of course, the Brewers could come back. They're only down by a couple of runs, but they only have a couple of innings left. If the Mariners lose, this is the big one right here. If the Mariners can lose, that'll be nice. But the Rangers are closing in, so we really need the Brewers to come back. Tigers destroyed the Yankees today, just completely dismantled them. Let's take a look real quick at who's up for tomorrow, because the Astros, it was just a kind of a sour start with Garcia going out with his elbow discomfort. Jason Alexander is going to be on the mound tomorrow for the Astros. Jason Berrios will be on the mound for the Blue Jays. Look at this. They're giving the Blue Jays a 71.1% chance of winning. This means the Astros definitely win tomorrow, right? I think so. But like I said, for this series, we only need to win one to take the series for the whole season. If you look over here on the right side of the screen, let me show you. There it is. If you notice, Game 1, Game 2, Game 3, the Astros won 7-0, 5-1, 3-1 earlier this year. This is a loss. We only have 2 more games against the Blue Jays. If we can just win one of those, we'll win the series. So that's good. But like I said before, we have to be concerned about this right here, where we are in the standings. Because Seattle is only 1.5 games back. And with this loss today, they have the opportunity to move within like half a game, I think. The Rangers, if they hold their lead, they will also gain a full game on the Astros. So it's not just, right now it's not just about beating Toronto for the season series. It's about actually winning games. The Astros need to win games. We need at least a dozen games. Pretty ridiculous, I think, about the Astros batting. My lobster video that I mentioned is just part 1 of a couple of videos that I have been making rather. And I hope you have an opportunity to check that out, because a lot of people are talking about and speculating why are the Astros having such a hard time at the plate, but nobody's actually talking about the reasons why. Because some people say, well, their swing rate is one of the worst in the MLB. You know, their aggressive rate is one of the worst in the MLB. Their swing and miss rate is one of the worst in the MLB. They're like bottom 3 in all those categories. And that's true. But that's not the problem. Those are symptoms of the problem. You have to look deeper than that. You have to ask the question, what's causing the Astros to systematically have these problems? Why are they swinging so early? Why are they swinging at so many pitches out of the zone? Why are they missing so many pitches? Why are they leaving so many guys on base? Those are problems, but those are symptoms. It's kind of like, you know, going to the doctor and saying, you know, I have a runny nose, I have sore throat, I have a headache. And then the doctor treats those problems. You know, he gives you Kleenex, he gives you some pills to stop your headache, and he gives you some other pills so that your throat doesn't hurt. He's not actually fixing the problem. He's just fixing the symptoms of your illness. So the Astros are perpetually ill right now. They're perpetually sick at the plate. But instead of getting treatment for that, they're just getting lip service. Joe Espada and Dana Brown and these other guys, even the players themselves, are just giving lip service. So what's the problem? I'll tell you what the problem is. The problem is that they have no system in place and no accountability for that system. You got a bunch of good players that are just going to the plate and doing what they do. And I really think that, I don't want to say that the leadership is weak, but they are choosing to be weak. They're choosing to be weak. The reason I know that they're choosing to be weak is because of what we're seeing happening in the bullpen with our pitchers getting hurt so much, and the nonsense with Fromber. Even the other day when Hunter Brown went back on the mound to pitch another inning, they were going to take him out and put in a reliever. And Hunter Brown said, no, I'm going to pitch. And he went out and pitched. And a lot of the Astros podcasters and commentators are trying to say, look how awesome that is. Hunter Brown is given his all to the team. I don't think that's a good thing. I don't think it's a good thing when he's over 100 pitches and he goes back out. He's at his pitch limit and he goes back out to keep pitching. And why? Not because the coach asked him if he was able to do it, but because Hunter Brown said, I'm going to do it, and then they let him. I think this is the coaching style of the Houston Astros right now, to let the batters and the pitchers just kind of do what they're going to do. There is no strategy. There is no systemic batting strategy for the Astros to follow. They're going to the plate as individuals, relying on their own individual effort in order to make something happen. And so the result is a coin toss. Every single at-bat, every single game, just a coin toss. Whenever the Astros light it up and score like 10 runs in a game and destroy the opponent, it's because everybody was just lucky that day. When they all start getting lucky at the same time, it's a wonderful thing to watch, because they do have talent, they have skill, but they don't have discipline or accountability. So the Astros don't have a system in place for all of the hitters to follow. They don't have discipline in that system, and they have no accountability to hold them to that system. So I just broke it down for you why the Astros are doing so terribly at the plate. So far, I haven't heard anybody else talk about this. I'm not going to be one of those guys that says, I'm the only one talking about this. I'm just saying that I haven't heard any of the other Astros podcasters or news channels, even people like Chandler Rome. Chandler Rome is a reporter who covers the Astros, and even on their most recent podcast, I was listening to them talk about it, and they're like, well, obviously they're having problems at the plate, but I don't know what the answer is. Even they don't know what the answer is, but they should. They should know what the answer is. Stop looking on a surface level. Stop looking at the symptoms and start looking at the underlying causes. But what really bothers me is that Rome himself said recently that he doesn't believe that it's a leadership issue or the coaching issue. He literally said that. I'm sorry, but you're wrong. 50% of the problem is the bats. And I would say that about 35% of the problem is on the pitching coaches and Joe Espada. Absolutely. Because who puts the systems in place? Who creates the game plan that everybody has to believe in and follow? Either you get with the plan or you get off my team. Who's that guy? It's supposed to be Joe Espada. It's supposed to be Joe Espada. Before, it was Dusty. And Dusty had a plan. He had his way of doing things. Support him or not, whether you think he was crotchety or not, whether you think he was right or wrong, doesn't matter. He clearly had his way of doing things, and he wanted the players to adhere to that way of doing things. But I believe that what we have right now is a bunch of coaches who are just kind of letting the players have more free reign. And they're relying on those players' individual skills to try to go out and be individually successful and gel together to be collectively successful. And so the result is a very bipolar team that's getting injured a lot more than it should. That's my opinion. Yeah, the game was blown. The game was definitely blown, but I still blame the Astros bats. Still blame the bats. Yeah, well, we could be cooked, Fear the Beard. We could be. I don't know yet. I still think it's a coin toss. Thanks a lot, Dr. D. I appreciate you. Well, you know what? That's what it's like, Abria. That's what it's like to be an Astros fan. I've been an Astros fan for almost 50 years, and I can't count the number of times they've crushed my heart. Same thing with the Oilers. A lot of Astros, a lot of Houston teams have done that. That's what a lot of Houston teams do. But that's also one of the things that makes them interesting. You know? Do you want a team that's constantly spending big money that everybody else hates, and they're constantly spending money to get all the most expensive players so that they can have an opportunity to win the World Series every single year? Or do you want a team that when it actually wins the World Series, it's because of pure heart and effort, not just because they went out and bought the most expensive guys? Which one do you prefer? Obviously, there's going to be more heartbreak and more challenge with the latter, but whenever you do actually get that World Series victory or that Super Bowl, which unfortunately the Oilers never got, or the championship like the Rockets got, when you finally actually get there, how much more is it worth? I think it's worth a lot. Mardi Gras, that's a big part of it. The lobsters are a big part of it. But anyway, I think that's pretty much it for today. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you so much for the super chats. All of your support is so greatly appreciated. Tomorrow's game, I believe, is at the same time. So I will see you here. Hopefully, we will have a much better result in Toronto at their concert venue stadium. America needs to beat Canada at baseball. It's as simple as that. Thank you again. All I have left to say is go Astros, and see you tomorrows. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.